Y'all, I'm stressed out. My trusty dusty sidekick had to help me do this. Y'all jump on this one. I'm sorry I sent out the information for the other stream, but I'm still getting the hang of this thing. It's y'all come in here. I think you guys are at the other stream. Nirvana, can you go into YouTube on the other stream and tell them come on the new live stream? Cause child, you know my nerves are shot. I had a crazy day in my neighborhood. Hey y'all, I'm sorry. We had trouble with the other stream. My trusty dusty sidekick had to help me. Y'all gonna tell the people to come on over here. Oh Lord, I'm still getting the hang of this. I am still getting the hang of this. How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? What a day, what a day. So I literally decided that I needed to make a video because some things don't pass the smell test right now. Something is super. Greetings, everybody. Latoya, the Black Barbie. Yes, not horrific, but I've had some revelations. I just was sitting with the Most High. If you guys share this stream out to people, share it out to your socials, let people jump in. Something doesn't pass the smell test with me, and it has to do with the update with the lawyer and the call line and the 120 people. Something don't pass the smell test with me. Like, share, subscribe, bring your people in, send it to 10, each person send it to 10 people. Let's get on this. Let's have this discussion. I always say the part of the video where people say, I'm going to wait till everybody comes and annoys me. You know what? Today is time for these. I ain't going to skimp and I ain't going to shortchange nobody. Today is a day for the orange stunners. I ain't got no lashes on or nothing, y'all. It's serious business time. I ain't got no lashes on. Everybody share this video to your socials and to 10 people if you can. Send it to 10 of your friends. Tell them come on in here. Something about this case is not adding up to me. And I'm going to be very transparent. I called the line, not the hotline because it's shut down, but I did go online, look for their law firm, and I called the law firm. I have things to report. And y'all know me, I record every conversation that I'm having, especially when it pertains to business. There is one call. They called me yesterday 2 times. And because I was out in public at the Barnes and Nobles, I couldn't record it live. And I missed that vital audio. And that audio was vital. Something in the milk ain't clean, as Big Mama and them used to say. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. And I want other victims to heed the warning. I don't want people to be caught out there thinking they're doing something for the benefit. Let me just shout everybody out that's coming in. Latoya, the Black Barbie. Yep. Now, y'all know these ain't my readers, right? So I can't see. These are just the glare. The glare makes it hard for me to see. I do not be liking to put on these readers because they just look so readery, but whatever. It's nice to meet you too, sweetie. Thank you for coming to the Nerd Herd. Y'all see I don't got no little light dusting or beat on or nothing. I'm greasy, whatever. Donisha Scott, I hear you, boo. I don't even trust. Listen, I trust my Nerd Herd family, but send one out on your page. And those who shall come, let them come. And you're right. Trust is not easy to come by. Yana Artist 77. Everybody, let's get in here. There are some things. You see this connection with the Holy Spirit? You see this ears to hear and eyes to see? It won't quit on me. Never does. It's a lot of things. And I smell a rat in this whole, we had a line. And this is suspicious. It is very suspicious. Renee, where you at, boo? Come to the stage, Renee. Where you at, honey? Get in the crew. Let me start because so I've been going over. I'm in a retention space. I've been taking in all the information, listening. I have this weird dichotomy with my brain. Little innocuous statements stick in my brain. It's like a poster board in my brain, and there are thumbtacks, and things are just added to the board that stand out and seem a little peculiar. Let me wipe these off. And quite a few things seem peculiar. First and foremost, this hotline. No, let me back it up. First and foremost, Most of these Texas, most of these crimes were said to have occurred in either, with this shot, I'm always concerned about evenness on my face. So most of these crimes have occurred in New York, LA, Miami, Atlanta. So why would an attorney in Texas take up the mantle and decide that he was going to administrate the cases? People are talking about, Chris Todd and, oh, you wrote a book, you're trying to make money off it. What y'all think this attorney doing? I heard somebody say today, why would an attorney from Texas be pro bono? Oh, no, 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 no. There is no pro bono. Hey, Renee, baby, how you doing? There is no one love, y'all Nerd Herd family. Y'all get in here because I have a feeling this video is going to be the one that busts through. So for those who just came in here, let me just say, I didn't call the hotline because the line had already crashed, but I looked online, found a number to their office and called the number. And so unbeknownst to many people, there were two law firms in on it. The first one was the one that was more prominent. That was the Busby firm. However, there was some, I didn't even realize, I didn't recognize the people on the step and repeat that it also said AVA. So when I initially called, I called the office number for the Busby. The young lady who was taking my information was very, so were you hurt by him? And so I said, yes, I'm the woman who was shot in the face in 1999, in Club New York. She's like, so, but did he hurt you? So initially I thought, you are the intake representative on the line for this case, and you're so woefully unprepared and naive to the facets of the case. Like you would think that the people that are on the intake would have some knowledge of what's going on. No. She was like, well, she sounded very young, and no disrespect to young people. It takes all of us for the world to go round. But she was very, no, I'm not familiar with it. You're not. So then how are you the person entrusted to do intake when you could be passing over somebody who is very vital to the case and you don't know anything? So you're very, very dismissive. No. They didn't came to him. He decided to create a call center. He decided, I'm going to make a hotline and I am going to elicit potential victims to see what's what. So I listened to him on another podcast, and this was a podcast with a white guy. I'm assuming this gentleman was in the law field. I don't know if he was an attorney. I believe he was in the legal field. So he says, so he said, wow, you got over 3,000 victims or potential victims. He said, no, many of the calls were people that called to say, God bless you. I'm happy you're doing this. Oh, I just want to tell you guys good luck. Or, oh, I'm glad somebody's doing something for the victims. He said a few of the calls were people like, ha ha, he hurt me too. And then they start laughing. They like, ha ha, and they hang up. And some of the calls were people like, is this real? I just wanted to see if this was real. So already the over 3,000 came into question with me. I said, hold on a second. You're adding in calls that had no demonstrated victim and people were calling for a host. You added that all in with the number. Sounds very gaslighty to me. So I found a problem with that. I was like, this is already starting to sound unscrupulous. So then going back to the young lady who was the intake rep, she was all like very dismissive and very, so did you go to the hospital when he hurt you? I said, miss, I told you a minute ago I was shot in the head. The ambulance rushed me to the hospital. So did you ever report this to the cops? I was like, okay, no, not gonna do this, not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do this. Like I'm sure doing intake, you have a script that you're supposed to read, but you are supposed to be a human, nuanced enough to say, okay, this is something different. And if nothing else, there should be a list of criteria that once you get a yes, yes, yes on a number of vital questions, you should say, let me escalate this to maybe a law clerk, something. No, she took it. And she was just like, so yeah. Anyway, so I said, yeah. I said, there's a lot of details for the case online. It's a very widely advertised case. So, there are a lot of, you said you're not familiar with it, but there are a lot of information. There's a lot of information that you can elicit from online. This woman says, so I said, I was in a nightclub shooting that. She said, so did you go to the club or did you go to a party or were you just at the club? Say what now? I said, I went to an event at the club. So it already told me this is not, and let me tell you something. When I tell you her tone with asking questions was very flat and aggressive, not at all like a call line or a hotline that is elicited to deal with potential victims. It was not at all. I'm a psychology major. I could smell the BS. And listen, your girl don't just come with talk. I come with receipts. I record every conversation. You see this good old lovely thing Mr. Steve Jobs made? I record conversations because I'm telling you, something didn't pass the smell test with me. And I also I'm just gonna play y'all a little snippet. Let me see. Oh damn! I hope I'm not messing up my thing. All right. It's not a hidden case. This is a very well known case. People call it the Puffy J-Lo Shine shooting. That's the case. So the details he'll be able to find very readily. But I'm the woman who was shot in the face, and there were a lot of things wrong with, I was the star witness in the criminal trial, but there was a lot of things wrong with this case as far as him being. I want to get to the lady's voice. Now, you see these long pauses? How is this an intake hotline dealing with victims? It's very peculiar. I know him and Shine. You said December 11, 1999? No, December 27th, 1999. It happened at Club New York in New York City. New York. Does this sound like somebody who is sincerely interested in taking calls from victims? When you say checked out, baby, you don't know the half. Now, because I like receipts and I don't have time for bullshit, these people, after knowing all the facets, said, oh, unfortunate, sent me a text message saying, oh, your case doesn't rise to the level of being a victim. I was like, okay. I didn't say anything else. Then, mysteriously, 2 days later, I get another call where they must have gone over all of her intake and then listened and was like, wait, what? I'm calling in regards to the Sean Combs abuse lawsuit. Is this something you're interested in pursuing? Ma'am, you asked me 3 times. I said yes each time. Okay. So what organization are you calling from? So this is on behalf of ADA Law. ADA Law? Yes. Okay. Now I said ADA, and she said yes. Your first name, please? She's asking me for my first name when she called me. This is a woman who called me. NATANIA. What does ADA? What's the acronym stand for? Andrew Van Arsdale, AVA.
And then what is your last name?
It's Reuben, Reuven.
Perfect. And the number we're speaking on ending in 9547,
And when I tell you,
is that a good callback?
When I tell you, she was so effing aggressive. You didn't hear me say miss. I told you 3 times. I was shot in the face. Aggressive. Is this something you're interested in doing? I wish you could have heard the beginning. I was sitting there taking care of something when she called, and I hurry up and put on my recorder to record it. I said, what in the, what? I kept saying, so I said to her, I said, are you familiar at all with the cases or any history of the cases? Yes, no, I don't know any of this. So then why the fuck are you calling people? Why? If you are so flat affect, lacking, when you're dealing with, thank you. And I even said to her, who's your supervisor? She called me. You heard me say AVA. She said, I said ADA. Yes, ADA. I had to say, what's the acronym for? Because during the entire press conference, did you at once hear somebody say there was another law firm? Or were we just presented with the main law firm? We were presented with the main law firm. So I had no reason to believe that there was another law firm. And I thought I was being scammed. I was like, who is calling me? What's this about? Because I'm very peculiar. I don't trust people, random calls or unexpected calls on the internet. I mean, excuse me, on the phone, just unsolicited calls asking me personal business. I'm so I record everything because I'm not here for the BS. Now, to jump ahead back to this man talking to the gentleman, he said, oh, he did a breakdown. Now, what stood out to me was, 60 were men and 60 were women. What is the likelihood? What is the likelihood that you get over 3,000, you scale it down to 120 that you feel are viable, and ironically, they're split down the middle? The likelihood of that is, boo-boo, we could all run out and go play the lotto before the night is over. The likelihood is no. Well, let's see. I have no desire to report them. I don't want nothing to do with them. Yeah, hold on for what I'm thinking. I don't think this is a sincere hotline to help victims at all. I think this hotline is created by Puffy to catch and kill all the stories of victims who are going to speak out against him. I don't think there's something sincere about this at all. And as a true victim, I don't want any other victims to be taken advantage of. This, you know how they say the devil is in the details? This man starts to break down. Oh, there's so much more. But let me tell you something. When I tell you I smell a rat, the man starts to break down the racial disparities of the victims. He says the majority of them are African American. Huh? Really? Because what majority of African American women y'all ever seen him date? I know the women that he's dated, J-Lo, Cassie, the one he's married to now with the last daughter, Asian. The one, Gina Han, that said she got beat up, Asian. Kim is black, but, black with a little extra added, spicy black. The majority of his victims are African American? Sounds like a crock of shit. And then he said, Latino and Asian, less than 3%. I said, well, that's funny, because the majority of the women he deal with is Latino and Asian. So his victims are black. He don't like black women like that. So what's going on here? And then I noticed when he was sitting there with this other white gentleman being interviewed, my boy was well powder up on, and him makeup powder up on him nice and pink and rosy. And I was like, this feels like an act. It feels so grandiose and acty. I can't unsee the actiness of it. There's this YouTube content creator. She creates home products and chairs and all that out of innocuous items. She would make a chaise lounge out of cardboard. We love her. I've been watching her for years. However, her code switch voice that she puts on, it's a joke to me. I tell my daughter, and I'm not going to name her because I don't want to disparage her. I like her. I truly like her. But she has this little fake voice that she puts on. And I joke, That's our family joke. I could go places. I'd be like, oh, they got the blank blank voice on, and we laugh about it. We laugh about that voice. The intake people had the voice on, a very code switchy, fake. Hello, this isn't such. I was like, what? And then here's the thing: when I started, so she would call me now. I said, oh, I need to read through the. Oh, can you sign the contract now and send it back to us? I said, I just texted it to your phone. Can you? I said, sign. A lawyer's office wants somebody to sign documents sight unseen. I said, oh no, my dear, I don't do that. I don't do that. And she was like, oh, it's just a standard legal contract. You can sign it. It's not a problem. Forcing me to sign. I said, absolutely not. I don't do that. I will read through. Hey, Siri, let me shout out some more people. I ain't trying to overlook nobody. Oh, yeah, I know I'm new with this. So how do I make it go back down? Child, I can't get this list back down. Everybody who has come on thus far. Esmeralda, Suri, I see additional names. Hey. And thank you, mods. Make sure you address everybody. I appreciate it. I'm so sorry. No. So over 3,000 victims were not. I heard this man break down what the 3,000 consisted of. It is not over 3,000. It is people that called to say hello, people that called to say, God bless you for doing this work. A few people who called in for joke purposes. Some people who called in to see if the line was real. They added everything into that number. She thought I was Willie Lump Boo, but not today and not no day. Today is not the day, and tomorrow's not a chance of looking great either. So she's like, well, you can just sign it now. I said, I'm not signing anything. I have to read over this. Well, we can't go forward helping you if you don't sign. I said, okay, well, you can sit me to the side or take me off the list. And once I feel comfortable with it and I decide if and when I want to be represented by you guys, I will return the information. When I tell you, said the woman call me about 3 times a day. I mean, say the people them call me on Saturday, Sunday, them not stop call me. I was like, what kind of desperation is going on here? I was like, you're calling to represent people and you are desperately calling me when your partner firm said, move on, way, we can't help you. You don't fit the criteria. Then the next, they must have went over the list of all the people they denied and doubled back like, wait, y'all took her off or y'all stupid? We got you, boo. When I tell you they would not stop calling me. So when I was yesterday, when someone stole my tag where I was in Barnes and Noble's taking care of some stuff because I'm an author, she called. And so she said, she had the blank fake voice on. Hi, I'm calling from AVA. I'm trying to see. And I said, oh, how can I be of assistance to you? Did you sign the papers yet? I can help you through right now if you need to sign them. I said, no, I haven't decided to sign them. I have concerns about a few things and I need to speak with someone who can assist me. Some information has come to my awareness and I need to speak with someone in the firm who can verify to me that this in fact is not a pissing contest between Puffy and one of his ops. And they are using this because I heard some very tangible information and I need to make sure that I am not being used as a pawn in the game of some people when I am a true victim and I want myself and the other victims to be respected. I need to speak to, well, I can't let you speak to anyone else in the firm. We have to get you signed first before you can speak to. I said, okay, well then I'm not interested then. Take me off your list. My girl step on the phone and try to convince me. No, well, I mean, what we can do for you, we're going to help you get all this money. This and I said, excuse me? Out of your pay grade. What are you talking about? I said, listen, I asked you to escalate me to someone who has the power and authority to have this discussion with me to quiet my fears. Well, let me tell you how that works. We have to have your signed signature. I said, listen, and there was a clothing store in New York called Sims. Sil and Marcy Sims. I'm 54. The last time I saw that commercial, I was about maybe 19. Their catchphrase was, an educated consumer is our very best customer. Why do you want people who have already been victimized by someone to sight unseen without anyone looking over their shoulder saying, hey, let's go over this agreement and see what it is you're signing to? Why are you desperate for signatures? Why do you want people to sign away there? Then she's like, and so hear what the intake person said. So this is you haven't gone through the merits of the case yet. You've simply pre-screened me to see if I'm a victim and it's a viable case. My girl say, so I'm just letting you know now that we get 60% and you get 40, or we get 40% and you guys get 60%. The standard for lawyers in the United States is 33 and a third. 33 and a third, that's the standard. Now, if the cases happened in Miami, LA, New York, Atlanta, the majority, then why are they being represented by a Texas attorney who, while some attorneys are licensed to practice law lots of places, all of them are not. They're usually licensed to practice law in their home state and their surrounding states. Texas is a long way from New York, Atlanta, and Miami. Now, you may very well be licensed to practice, and I'm not questioning he might be licensed to practice in the 50 states. Who knows? But I know each state has its own nuances and laws, and that's a whole lot of states to be licensed in to understand the nuances and dichotomy of how the law is merited in every jurisdiction. Sounds a little cumbersome. Not questioning his ability or his knowledge. Just saying something stinks here. Something in the milk ain't clean. So now he's breaking down with this podcast and he's saying all these things. And it sounded so, the way he was, I got to find the guy's name. It was like he was othering the victims. And you know, these people I'm trying to, not so much on these people. Not so much. Not so much on these people. Thank you. I'm not familiar with any victims that popped up in Texas. Now, there very well may be, but I'm not familiar with any. Then I hear this information on Friday where it comes out that his bodyguard, Big Joe, who was accused of sex or schmexly assaulting, YouTube speak, the woman who's represented by Gloria Allred, which, no shade to my bet. This is all of the comments here are the opinions of the Dopest Nerd podcast or show or whatever you want to call me, and my right and belief and my opinion protected by my inalienable right to free speech under the United States Constitution, First Amendment. So let's just put that out there. What I heard on the radio was they were talking about it on the Angela Yee show, that the bodyguard, Big Joe, came out and said he doesn't know the lady. He's never met her before. He's never been in a room with her. And he heard that the attorney was Jay Prince's attorney, and that Jay Prince hired the attorney to file this and round up all these potential victims to sink him because he slapped Drake, and Drake is still mad about it, and Drake is with Jay Prince. So when I heard this now, I was like, excuse me? Texas attorney takes on cases that occurred in New York, LA, Miami, Atlanta. From Texas, where he has no connection to them or any of this. I wonder why it don't feel right. And listen, he very well may have his own cases pending. I don't doubt that. But I know this monkey wrench that been thrown in here makes me say, that's suspicious. So now I'm like, hey, I need to talk to somebody. I'm not signing anything if this is a pissing contest between angry ops. So you know me doing my diligence, and the math is not mathing. So then I'm doing my due diligence and I'm scrolling, looking at different things, just, So then I see pictures. I know the smack happened some years ago. So if they really have beef, like they say, why is he in pictures with the lace front with his cornrows? They say that's a lace front. That's what they say. I don't know nothing about your hair, sir. Don't come to me with no attitude and none of your tactics. Them say is a lace front. Me no know. Anyhow, So these are, the lace front is relatively new because he was stealing that other guy's hairstyle with the lady clips in the hair and the little clips we used to hold our hair back, the little colorful duck bill clips and all them thing. And he was wearing the little part in the middle and the little poof out here. So that's all recent. The lace front is all recent. Why is he in pictures with the lace front and the cornrows with this dude's daughters, his twins? Now, if somebody is my ops and we got beef, you ain't taking no pictures with my kids. You're not even going near my kids. Nowhere near. So if you're in pictures with my kids, suffice it to say, with your recent man unit, yes, ma'am, me and we not ops. Because I'm not letting nobody take pictures with my kids. If we got an iota of, first of all, I don't do fake friends. So if there's any iota of me feeling like something ain't right with you, don't come near me and my kids. I could be in the same room with you. We ain't going key. We not going clink glasses. None of that. I don't do fake friends. I don't do frenemy or none of them liquor imbeciles sitting. I don't do it. I don't do it. I have to do what resonates with my spirit and my pure, integral heart. And me not do fake friends at all. None at all. So there's no way I would be in a picture with someone who I don't like and be standing with their children. I think it's disrespectful. Once you stand with my children, me and you is peoples. We fam. So if you have a recent picture standing with the kids, that means y'all not ops. So then why would someone, and according to what they, as in the streets, netizens, the internet, folks, people in them, according to them, this attorney is Jay Prince's attorney. I even heard a few other people say it. I heard another attorney say it. I was like, wait, what? So what's happening here? Is this all these people who are friends and trying to secretly act like they are ops getting together and creating something to save their secret society industry shit? Trinidadian. My husband was Jamaican. Is it possible that that's what's going on here? The 52 fake out? I'm going to act like we ops? And I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all, because I can remember when Jamie Foxx was filming the movie here and they said he was acting bizarre, almost as if someone had given him something. And now that we hear about all of this, the gift of discernment is a magnificent thing. Now that we hear about all of this craziness, you can string some of these loose ends, these hanging chads, you could tie them together. I guarantee you tie all these loose strings together, they make quite a nice bow. You know, the type of bow that they sit on the top of your new car, big and fluffy. Good to see you, Tubu. Listen, when I say something in the milk ain't clean, it ain't clean. Something ain't right here. Something ain't right. And I caution every single victim that is a true and sincere victim. See, I don't play with nobody. I'm a victim survivor. I know what I've been through. I know what I went through. Those of you who were not here yesterday and saw my live yesterday, I am being harassed again. Someone stole the tag off my car yesterday. Yes, and it was ironic because I told you they kept calling me and I had to let the lady have it. I said, Miss, escalate me to a supervisor. No, I cannot let you speak to another person until you sign these papers. And I said to her, and she started getting very cantankerous. I said, so take me off of your list. Why are you still speaking to me? Shout out to my girl Tisa. Absolutely. Oh, I heard about the Columbus short thing as well. I heard about what Columbus said as well. So here's the deal. I said to the lady, well then, since you can't escalate me to someone who could speak to me, I said, I don't know why an attorney, a lawyer's firm wouldn't want to calm the fears of any prospective client to ensure that this is on the up and up. I said, if you guys are so tone deaf that you're not willing to hear what people are saying, what the prevailing thought is, you should go and check the internet to see what is being said about you guys. You should be aware of it. And if you were a lawyer of mine, I'd like to know that you have your ear to the street and you're up on everything. She said, we don't pay attention to rumors on the internet. You see how they say the devil is in the details? Why, heifer? That's where y'all announced. Did you not come and announce to the internet? Now the internet is a dusty alleyway that y'all don't mix in? I said, you tone deaf, boo. I said, let me tell you something. When they find out that you are taking this position and this step, it's not going to fare well. She kind of like, how would they find out? I said, I'm recording you. Bomba clot! She lost her mind. I don't consent to being recorded. I said, excuse me? You said to me when you called me that you were recording me. I don't consent to being recorded either. Okay, fine. I said, yeah. I don't consent to being recorded, so take me off your list. I didn't give you permission to record me. I said, reacquaint yourself with the United States Constitution and these American laws, boo. Georgia is a single-party consent state. I don't need your consent. As long as I am a party to the conversation, I can record you without your knowledge. My girl went ballistic. I'm going to have a supervisor call you. I said, is that so? Well, go on then. Let him call me. I asked you for a supervisor from the get-go. Is this what it took? So then I hang up on her because I'm like, why are you still on my phone? This woman sat on the phone trying to implore me to sign. After that, I said, now, why would you still be trying to convince me to sign after I told you to take me off your list? I'm not interested. Why are you still trying to convince me? So help me God. She was like, if you would just sign, I got the whole thing on recording. So, well, not the rest of the part. So mind you now, the supervisor, a little while later, I'm minding my business. So people sitting the table right in front of me and next to me, I'm trying to talk as low as possible. And I could see they kind of like looking like, oh, wait a minute. And I see this lady with the dress. She kind of peeking to the side, looking at me like, wait a minute, is that the chick? Oh, shit, I think that's the lady. So now I'm just like, ugh. But I was kind of quiet, but the people right beside me could hear. So I hung up. I was like, stupid. What kind of ridiculous shit is this? Like, this is stupid. Hello. Can I tell you a little while? When I tell you that supervisor spun the block so quick, hello, may I speak to Natanya? Yes, I said, who am I speaking with? Yes, I'm the supervisor for that. I said, and he's like, so what I'm trying to understand is, and if I can, what our representative informed us, I said, stop right there. What exactly is the nature of your call? Well, I'm trying to understand. She says you want to speak to someone higher up and this and we have a process and you have to sign. I said, hold on a second now. Hold on. That's what she told you? I said, perhaps you should listen to the call because I told her in no uncertain terms 7 times, take me off of your list. So why are you calling me to convince me of anything? Then when I started to tell him what was going on and that there is a prevailing consensus going through the internet that this is all a ruse set up for a pissing contest between 2 people, and I don't want myself or other victims to be caught up in the rapture of this. And you guys should keep your ear to the street and know what's going on surrounding such an important case, and that your representative is delusional in her manner of speech and conduct when dealing with a prospective client. He was like, well, okay. At least he was giving me the benefit of listening. And he was reasonable minded, I have to say. He was a very reasonable person. And he was trying to understand my point of view and all that. And I said, but your rep is so far gone. You guys need to listen, and she needs redirection on how you handle prospective clients. A lot of things she was saying is bizarre, and the manner in which she was doing it was quite bizarre. I said, I am astounded. My boy was like, so I understand, and what I hear you saying is, and he was, at least he tried, at least he was trying. Baby, the other chick, out of her mind. And she thought she could strong arm me. I said, she spent more time trying to convince me of why I need to sign after I told her 7 times I am not interested. I said, so before you go any further, let me reiterate to you, I am not interested. I do not want to sign with this firm. I don't think you guys are keeping your ears to the street. I have concerns that are not being addressed. They're not, I said, someone needs to be able to address to me whether or not this is in fact that I should be able to unequivocally ask, are you in any way connected to doing business with or in any way aligned with Sean Puffy Combs? And someone should be able to say, oh, unequivocally not. The fact that y'all don't want me to get past an intake rep, and the fact that an intake rep who is so is so ill advised on the case and the nuances to the case, the fact that she has taken it upon herself to tell me what can and cannot happen and how they do business and not allowing me to speak to someone higher than her, and her pay grade is so low. So I said, it doesn't pass the smell test with me. Something is very wrong here, and I want no parts of it. I am a victim. I do not want myself or any other victims to be a part of anything that's a charade. We deserve true justice. So the guy was trying to tell me something, and I said, I'm not interested. Do not call me. Take me off of your list. I don't want any parts of this. Click. Somebody else called me back. I just sent it to, I pressed the red button. When I listened to this guy on the phone, on a podcast, the attorney is saying, which sound like I said, he did the whole breakdown of all the races, and I'm like, we don't have a history of this man liking black women like that. Kim was the early one. Look at if you put a photo array of all the women he's ever been aligned to, she's the only black face. Why are you telling me the majority of the people are black? That don't sound right. The majority of the people he chooses are Asian and Latino, and they were less than 3%. I'm telling you, he was telling on himself without realizing he was telling on himself. It was. Then the next highest bracket was white. I was like, something ain't right with this. So then he goes on to tell this podcast, he's speaking about the case, and he's like, oh, a lot of celebrities I sent a demand letter and they've already settled. What? Okay. Now, myself, having been involved in a long-standing, 12 years it took for my case to settle. 12. So trust me, I may not be an attorney, but I play one on TV or on these internets. It sounds like foolishness. If you are saying that you are calling, that you are one to hold everybody to account that permitted this behavior to take place, you want to hold everyone to account who their silence made them complicit with his conduct or anybody's conduct in harming anyone, in harming a child. If you want to call all these people to the task because there's all these famous names and you want to make sure that they're all held accountable, why are you taking settlements? How have you just signed on? All of the legwork that needs to be done hasn't been done, and you sent out demand letters to other celebrities? Oh, what? You did. You sent out demand letters. And what was the price of these demand letters? Because demand letters take time. See, you have to gather all the facts, and then you have to lay these facts out, and you approach whoever the respective people are and their legal team. And so you have to mitigate, you have to bring proof, you have to have well-documented proof, and you assemble all of this information, and then you send a demand letter. Typically, especially not the least of which is all of these people are not paying out of their pocket. A lot of times when people do things and there has to be a settlement, an insurance company pays. You're not going to tell me in my 54-year-old black woman self that you sent out no demand letter and an insurance company paid you presto changeo instantly and settled? Not a bomboclat. No way. No way. And if you're telling me they paid you, then this all sounds like a catch and kill. And listen, somebody may have standing, somebody may be well-known and a notable figure, a celebrity, whatever you want to call them, and they want to catch and kill information about them. But then where is your love for the victims if you're allowing celebrities to do a catch and kill? Something no smell right a blood clot. Where was all this? We're going to hold everyone accountable in the press conference. And you're taking payoffs from celebrities. They've settled already. How much? How much did they settle for? You understand what I'm saying? How much did they settle for? And who are these people that settled? Because if they settled with you, then you are not bringing them to the feds. Because they are going to say, we paid them off. Listen, sir, who is this saying civil is separate from federal? The feds can still listen to me. Then it rises to the level of extortion. Extortion is a federal crime. You cannot, within the confines of an ongoing federal investigation, accept payments from people to keep silent. What are you telling me? You know how long I've been in this case? 25 years. If anybody know how this shit work, I do. I'm telling you, you cannot make a press conference, set up a line to extort people for silence, especially when you proclaimed that this is to stand up and make people pay for what they did. You said 25 of the people were children when it occurred. You're taking payments from who? You sent a demand letter and they paid already and settled? Listen here. I wasn't born at night, and it certainly wasn't last night. That is bull if I ever heard it in my life. Anybody who's out there and wants to believe this, well, then by all means, knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. You cannot, in tandem with a federal investigation going on, be setting people up to take payments, especially given that the feds can come in and elicit the information anyway. I don't trust it. Something don't smell right. Something don't smell right at all. Not the least of which is, if these people came and paid, why are you talking about it publicly? And what about the victims? So what are you going to do? You're going to designate how much each one gets from these respective people? Why, the main person's case hasn't even begun yet. And it's going to take a while before it starts. Something doesn't sound right to me. You're taking payments? He said people have settled. Well, what about accountability? What happened to the accountability? And everybody's going to pay. No. He said they have already settled. He said, in no uncertain terms, I sent out demand letters. A demand letter means I have gone through all of the proof of the case. I have receipts and things on the table, irrefutable documentation of proof. And now we are sending a demand letter in request for a settlement. That's not how this thing goes. Do you, as a matter of fact, because I like people to know that I come with receipts and facts, and I don't just be talking, because I'm never just a talker. I'm always going to do my due diligence. I'm not one to ever say, oh, you know what I always say, don't take my word for it, go do your research. I say the same thing all the time. Because I'm not saying I'm the end all be all. What I'm saying is, one thing I know is this case. I know the merits of this case. I've been in this thing for 25 years. Dealt with a lot of attorneys, a lot. So, I got a lot of phones working around here. Where did I put it? Where did I take it at? Okay. All righty. Let me read something to you guys. The complexity of your claim and the facts of your case will factor into how long after you send a demand letter you can expect a settlement. For example, if the case involves a car accident with multiple parties, you send a demand letter to the insurance company. The insurance company may also want to reach out, not only to you, but those other parties before making any settlement offers. By law, you may be required to give more time to the other party, meaning you will have to wait longer for a possible settlement. For example, under the Texas Deceptive Trade Practices Act, DTPA, P like Paul, Texas Deceptive Trade Practices Act, you are required to send written notice to a business that violated a provision under the act and give the business 60 days to respond. Now, if you think these celebrities function under their names, you're wrong. They function under their names as an LLC DBA, doing business as whatever their name is in the media. They are business entities. You are required to send written notice that they violated a provision under the act and give 60 days to respond. This means that the business has at least 2 months to think about your demand letter and consider settling any claims you bring. This may also be the case for demand letters that you send to insurance companies. In some states, they may have more time by law to answer any claims brought in demand letters. If the insurance company is also dealing with other individuals and the claims, they may be prioritizing cases depending on the deadline. This will also affect by when you can expect a settlement. You know, come and tell me nothing about no settlement will take place in 2 days. No. Ironically, I didn't look up anything specific to Texas. The Most High God, how God deal with me, God said, let me put the Texas statute in there. Texas Deceptive Practices Trade Act. AKA, if you're demanding immediate settlement for any situation, it looks like extortion. And that is a violation of the law. So say what now? Who was telling me I was wrong? They changed their names to a corporation. That's right, Latoya. And let me remind you guys also that I used to be in the industry. I'm a vocalist many moons ago. So please, no, you're not going to tell me in an ongoing case that is that has federal oversight, you spoke to a few people and you sent demand letters. Sent demand letters predicated on what? You just set up the hotline. What are the demand letters predicated on? What documented proof do you have? And if you have proof, why have you not provided that proof to the friggin' feds if you're truly concerned about victims? Everybody that's involved in a civil case knows that you let the criminal case go first, because the civil case, especially the defendant, because in civil cases, you have to give depositions. Depositions, I have a company called Dep Prep that I created as a result of my case, because I understand the nuances of how depositions go. Many people, because you haven't been engaged in a legal case to this effect or a civil case to this degree, you may not be aware of a deposition. The case is won or lost in the deposition. Most people think depositions, or you've seen depositions on YouTube. Go Google depositions. Go Google depositions. You will see a famous case is a Lil Wayne deposition. He was so emotional and so pissed off. He was talking to them reckless. Baby, that case was lost in his deposition. When the case finally went to court, he lost. Go look it up. It's famous. A famous deposition, videotape. You know who's one of the most famous depositions? Trump. And I'm not talking about for his recent cases. This old, years old. Baby, people don't know. You win or lose your case in deposition. It is People think because you're all sitting around a conference room table and you're on video and they're asking, there's a bunch of lawyers in the room and they're asking you all these questions and you're just dressed in your, Robin jeans or your whatever's out. I don't know, your Gucci sweats. I don't know what the hell is out now, but you're in whatever you're wearing and it seems informal and you're not in a courtroom. You're in some conference room. You've deluded yourself that this is just an informal part of the case. No, that is the fucking case. That is, you might as well be sitting in front of a judge. What you say in that deposition, I train people how to deal with depositions. I promise you. I have a girlfriend, she's probably on here. You on here, Sam? So help me God. I've helped many people. I promise you, this is what I do because I've developed the understanding and skill of how this works. People get emotional and they lose their case right in deposition. You're not going to tell me that you bypass deposition, all of the fact-finding portions of the case, and you just sent out a demand letter and got settlements. Anybody who believed that is a fool. You know what this is? This is a catch and kill hotline. So everybody who feels like they have a legal case against him will come and tell them all the merits of their case, and they can prepare him for what's coming down the line. I'll bet my microbiome on that shit. You had 2 depositions and immediate. That's right. Listen, you can tell I'm old with the Robin jeans, right? But listen, I was trying to figure out what's cool. I don't even know what's cool. You understand? It's depositions, civil trials, the preponderance, civil trials, the merits for guilt in a criminal trial is beyond a reasonable doubt. Beyond a reasonable doubt. That means if there's any iota of doubt, it can't, or if they have not done a good job to prove that there is no iota, because we're not going. There's lots of people who are guilty and let free. But if the presiding prosecutors have not put up irrefutable proof that there is not one iota of doubt, then the person can be acquitted. It doesn't mean they're innocent. The word innocent and the word acquitted are 2 different words. Please acquaint yourself with Black's Law Dictionary and understand that the majority of the words that you speak on a daily basis are not the words that you think they are. Please reacquaint yourselves with that, or acquaint yourselves if you don't know. Jordache, hey, I was a Jordache girl, but trust and believe me when I tell you this. That notwithstanding, in a civil case, it is beyond a preponderance of the evidence. And so if you walk like a duck, talk like a duck, and you got feathers sticking out your ass, you're guilty. That's how civil cases work. However, they both still require diligence to take place, a fact-finding mission to take place, the assessment of all of the merits of the case, the gathering of evidence, and all of that. Listen, I'm not even going to talk about the merits of no OJ trial, because if we're going to talk about evidence suppressing, let's get on this YSL trial. You know how many Black people have sat in a suppressed trial? And that's what people in society don't understand. It's not that people thought OJ was the most innocent person in the world. Is that systemically he represented somebody that looked like us, that was able to overcome what they've done to the rest of us for so long. Please understand that, y'all. Please. But to come back to 2024, y'all want to talk about suppression of evidence? Go look right down in Atlanta at the YSL trial with all the dirty, illegal tactics that's taking place. Go look. It's televised with prosecutors and witnesses for the prosecution sitting on the stand next to the jury, muttering things, saying about the defense attorneys, he's trash. He's impossible. He's ridiculous. And being caught on a live mic. And then the defense attorneys are in the courtroom and they say, Your Honor, I object. I'm on the ground. I want to file a motion to blah, 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 because this happens. Don't think people are not sitting home watching the live stream and texting them in real time what's happening. You know what the judge says? Oh, I don't think that happened. I didn't hear it. We live in a world where people are, and what here's the irony of this all. I wanted to be an attorney when I was little. You know why I steered away from being an attorney? Because their now ancestors used to say, oh, you want to be a lawyer? Or that mean you want to be a liar. Because a lawyer is a liar. I promise you. That's what the elders used to say. And I was like, I'm not a liar. I don't want to be a liar. Or if you're a lawyer, you're a liar. You're a professional liar. And I was just like, oh, no, I don't want to be a liar. That's why I steered away from wanting to be an attorney. Facts and details stick in my head. When I tell you I'm a factoid, let me tell you how much of a fact person I am. When I was 9, my stepdad was from Georgia. He's from Macon, Georgia. And we're from Brooklyn. Him and my mom had this conversation and decided we were going to move south. And I would have grown up in Georgia. And being a Brooklyn kid, we were like, no, we want to, we from New York. We like New York and all this stuff because we had a life and we wanted to continue that life. However, something happened starting back in 1979. I think it was 78, 79. The Atlanta child murders. And because back then they were calling them the missing and murdered children. And because of that, my mother was like, oh, pump these brakes. I'm not about to take my kids nowhere where, this crime is happening. Nobody knows what's going on. And that's what saved us. So I was completely immersed in this when I was a child, like watching the news and keeping abreast of what was going on because I was so, who's muted? Me? You can't hear me? Tell me if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I shouldn't be muted. Let me turn this thing up. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. All right, good. Okay, so yes, I wanted to be an attorney. Now, going back to, like I was saying, the Atlanta, I'm glad y'all can hear me. The Atlanta child murders, I became obsessed with this because these were children around my age. Now, it was mostly boys. And then they made that movie. Remember, it was a made-for-TV movie. Morgan Freeman played in it. I had that VHS tape where I recorded it off of the TV. I had that thing for years. I probably just got rid of it a couple of years ago. I promise you. I had it all these years. And I haven't watched it in ages, but the case became so indelibly marked in my brain because that little girl got killed or unalived. Excuse me, YouTube. The little girl I'm new here, YouTube. Don't be messing with me on my stream because I'm still learning this stuff. But the girl got unalived. And what they did was tie her to a tree with her jump rope. And they found her body suspended, hanging from the tree with her arms extended and in the rain. And that scarred me. When I tell you I know so much about the case, I also know that Wayne Williams, who society calls the Atlanta child murderer, has never been convicted of killing not one of those children. Are you guys aware of that? He's been in jail all this year. He has never been convicted of killing not one of those children. Don't believe me? Go look it up. He was convicted of killing 2 adult men, which, by all accounts, the proof shows, because of his short stature and his overweight stature and lack of muscle definition, these men towered over him. The men he was accused of killing towered over him, bigger than him. He would not have been able to physically lift them up. However, because they wanted to get rid of that case, they suppressed true information and lied and omitted a whole lot of information. The only people he was ever accused of killing was Jimmy Ray Payne and Nathaniel Cater, 2 adult men, but they call him the Atlanta child murderer. Now, this happened when I was 9 till 11 or 12. I still know their names today. So when I tell you that facts don't slide by me, they don't. When I tell you I can friggin' recall information at epidemic speed like this, I'm a Jeopardy buff. People that know me have said for years, I could be standing in my beauty salon. Back in the days, I had beauty salons. Some of you know that, some of you don't. But back in the days, I had beauty salons. I could be in a beauty salon, TV on, everybody talking, people having conversations with me, and I'm answering questions. Somebody be like, yeah, girl, because I went to, what is the capital of Nebraska? And they used to be like, yo, what the app is? They used to call me computer. When I was a kid, they used to call me Encyclopedia Brown. This is how God wired me. I don't take ownership of it. I don't take ownership of it. This is how God made me. When I tell you I don't forget things. Now, some little thing like, oh, what is the guy that was on the TV show's name the other day? It'll pop up when I'm in the shower, but I don't forget it. It's just in this hierarchy of importance and level of importance, it goes into my mental Rolodex a little further back. But trust me, I have the ability to recall. Oh yeah, lots of evidence gets suppressed. Absolutely. Absolutely. As in this case right now. Because listen to me, when I tell you that DA Love, every week this woman find a new file. Oh, I found another file. I need to turn it over to the. They should have been turned over in December 2022. That's where the discovery was supposed to be turned over in the case. This woman is turning over stuff. Oh, I just found something in October 2024. How is this legal? This case should have been overturned. This case should have been mistrial with prejudice a long time ago. The fact that it's still going on is simply predicated on the fact that the new judge has shines to be on the Georgia Supreme Court, and she don't want no loose, untied chads or hanging chads or no loose ends to besmirch her legal reputation. Nobody wants the funk of this trial on their reputation. Everybody wants it out of the way. And they don't want to have a mistrial, because what that does then is it brings it back into, it stains your career. She don't want the mistrial to be on her name. You see what that black female judge did? Remember, this is not the second judge, this is the third judge. First it was Judge Glanville, who destroyed his entire legal representation, trying to be shady and finagle in this case. And when he was recused, there was another lady judge, baby. She was like, conflict of interest. I ain't even going into the courtroom. I got a conflict. Pass it on to somebody else. Get somebody else to do it. This lady's the third judge. This case should have been taken out of court instantly. They have had no less than at least 120 obvious violations of judicial charter. There's such a violation of the judicial canons. Another thing I did previously, when somebody was messing with me, I went and pulled up the judicial canons for the United States of America and studied and read them all. I know the judicial canons. So trust and believe. I don't come at this as no lightweight. Anything I do, I go into deep investigation. Deep. Anybody who is a victim in this case, or if you know any victims, or anybody who hears this and thinks they know someone who might have been victimized, if you know what I know, you better take heed. You better be totally clear, and you have a right to end a legal representation if you feel like you have not been told all of the mitigating circumstances. It would behoove you to ask your attorney if they are in any way affiliated with the man who abused you. If you know what I know, you better ask. And by law, they're obligated to tell you. And if they don't tell you the God's honest truth, and it comes out later on, you can always sue an attorney for ineffective legal counsel. And I'm being very serious. I am a survivor/victim. I don't play about what I went through, and I don't appreciate anybody making a mockery of the victims. And if I am correct, that's what this feels like. There's lots of other little things, but I went off on tangents. I'm telling you, I pay attention. Something in the milk in this case ain't clean. It feels like, oh, yes, everybody come around, gather around, gather around. And you gather around and they say, oh, were you hurt? Tell me how you were hurt, honey. We're going to help you. And you say, yeah, he did this to me. He did that. Oh, when did he do it? Da, da, da. And where were you? And what did you have on? Did anybody see? Who were the witnesses? You giving them all this information. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to call the witness and be like, you ain't seen shit. You going to give us your routing number. Take these few dollars. Oh, we noticed that your mortgage is overdue. You're going to take these few dollars. You're going to sit your ass in that corner and shut up. By the time your thing gets to cake, your witnesses got amnesia. They don't remember. I haven't seen her. I don't even know who she is. Listen here. Take precautions. Buyer beware. I don't trust it. Something don't pass the smell test. You already effed up by saying the majority of the victims were Black. Huh? Y'all give me a list of Black women y'all seen him with. And don't add the name Kim Porter. Go. Type in a list all the Black women you know him affiliated with. This man don't like black flesh. So why are you telling me the majority of the victims is Black? That don't even align with his taste buds. Oh, yeah, tell me, say. Go ahead, y'all. Give me a list of Black women that you've ever seen him with in the 30 years. And this is a showy ass ninja. So please, the one name you can't add is Kim Porter. Now, list all other Black women that you've seen him with. Obviously, melanated women. Child, please. Child, please. Let me stroke my invisible beard. Yeah, he like black skin when it's masculine. Well, this is what they say on the streets. I'm just repeating what they say. You know, I watch a lot of content creation, and that's what they say. These are not my opinions. I'm just going by what I heard on a variety of content creation platforms. Listen, I cannot say with 100% degree certainty what he's doing. But what I know is when you stand up in a press conference and proclaim, you are dragging people to the mat. All the responsible hotels, all the responsible restaurants that witness this stuff and all this stuff, all these things, you are holding them accountable. Anyone who witnessed anything and was complicit, I'm holding them accountable. We will pull them to the task. We will call them to the mat. We will make them pay. Or perhaps it's an alliteration. Maybe make them payment, make them pay, not make them face justice pay. Because the pay I thought was face justice pay. And here's the thing. I would have to say, just like Ghislaine Maxwell to Epstein, that's how I see Carisha. I remember vaguely her having an argument with Gina Hyun, not sure how to pronounce her name. I remember her say, you an eater. If I wanted you to eat my meow, you be on your knees right now. He will make you be on your knees right now. That don't sound victimy to me. That sounds like co-conspirator. You are mocking another woman and telling her you ain't nothing but an eater. If I wanted you to eat my meow, meow, you be on your knees right now. He will make you be on your knees right now. That sounds like a co-conspirator to me. I don't know. That is what they say in the streets and thing, on the internet streets. I don't know. That is what I hear. That is what I hear. So you feel what I'm saying? Y'all hit the like button, please. Let me get some likes. I know y'all got that. I know how that thumbs up thing work. I heard someone try to extol the virtues of why we shouldn't feel sorry for Justin Bieber. What? He was a child. What are you talking about? We shouldn't feel sorry. I literally was on a thing and I heard a content creator say, just talking about the video where Odell Beckham and him and who was the other person, and saying, just don't put the in your mouth. Huh? What? Do you understand grooming and the effects of grooming? Do you understand when people are Stockholm syndrome? Like, I don't believe in insensitivity to victims, and I won't tolerate it under no form or fashion. I don't care if I know the victim. Once there is someone who is designated as a victim, or someone who is clearly appears that they were victimized, and you try to gaslight them, you know victim, you conspirator. Oh yeah, listen, let me tell you something. I've always, something about Dame Dash has always resonated with my spirit. And it has to be like, I'm extremely outspoken. So is he. There's just a thing in his personality that I can relate to. There's a thing, like a march to the beat of my own drum, have some integrity. What he was looking for, there was this whole thing with R. Kelly and Jay-Z and the Aaliyah and all this stuff. And he's saying, like, if we're partners and we're business partners, given what you know about what was done to my girl, as my partner, you should have no desire to do business with someone who, you know, I can't, when I say all these baby talk versions of actual words for YouTube, it annoys me. So you essayed my girl, you should not want to do business with him. We may not have known at the time, but now that you know, you shouldn't want to do business with this person. What is wrong with him saying that? That is actually, like, listen, I'm gonna just say it right now, and I know some people are gonna be angry, but listen, my truth is my truth. And like I always say, if your actions, your conduct, your behavior intersects with my truth, what can I tell you? The Bible says my governing doctrine of my spirituality says, cry aloud and spare not. That means talk your ish. Speak out against people who have done you wrong. I have people close to me that, when I say close, I mean close. I was pew pew. And then when that anniversary concert came around, they went. I can't make this up. Can't make it up. Do your years. I was pew pew in 1999, December 27th, 1999. When was the anniversary concert? I think it was like 2015, 2016. So there was no friggin' discrepancy about who pew pew me. I have people close to me that went to the concert. Quite a few of them. I also have people close to me who bought their husband a coat from his clothing line. Close to me. Now, what do I say to those people? Some of you guys, tell me, what do I say to those people? Or you tell me what you would say to them. You get pew by somebody, and the people close to you, years later, go to his reunion concert, or buy their husbands a coat from his clothing line. How does that make you feel? I need some opinion. I'm not joking. Oh, that's the least of it. I'm not joking. No. See, what people don't understand is that gaslighting and harassment comes in many forms. I promise you. I mean it. Yeah, I agree with you, Denisha. Justin lost himself before he knew who he was as a man, and now he has a baby. He's finding peace. He's probably one of the most level-headed people. If you think about the songs he made, my God, he's been crying for help all this time, and people were just dancing. But listen, now with that being said, he's not the only one. There are people that have been crying for help for years, and we just dance to their pain. It's disgusting. It's why I don't listen to a lot of music. I'm a vocalist. I love music, but I have had to shave off a whole lot of. I don't take in low vibrational shit. I won't. I won't do it. They saw what happened to me, knew what happened to me, and went to his concert. Another one, a few of them, another one bought her husband a coat so his name was on his chest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm outraged too. But these people will act a fool if I say something to them about it. I mean it. I mean, like, what's the big deal? Why are you so angry? Let that go. It's the past. It already happened. I promise you. And listen, here's the crap. I love these people. I love them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. All them letters, all them acronyms. I'm gonna be honest. That's what it is. I can tell you even more stuff. Y'all would be like, what? Mm-hmm. That's what I say. That's what I say. But who am I? That's why I always say, back in the days when I had to do this dance solo, God gave me. Oh yeah. Oh, Oh, I know what the acronyms are, honey. I listen. It was spelling it out in its own. Oh, I've been stopped listening to R. Kelly. I mean, his songs. We were dancing to her pain. Age ain't nothing but a number. Come on. And I mean, for God's sakes, the man was calling women, comparing women to, you remind me of my Jeep. You remind me of a car, and I want to ride. Like, come on. If I remind you of a car, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. That's not a compliment. But we knew of these stories a long time ago with him. Once we knew back in the days when he married her and she was 15, that was a problem for me. I was over. I was like, nah, no. Yeah. Yep. He married her. She was 15 and he was 20 something. I think 27. It was horrendous. And you got to remember, I'm not trying to besmirch the integrity of anybody's parents, but I hear a lot of people say, where were they parents? The parents were friggin' selling their own soul. A lot of people live vicariously through their children and will take $1. But you got to remember, just because you have the biological ability to reproduce and have a child doesn't make you a mother or a father. Please know that and remember that. You interact with people every day who are not maternal or paternal in the slightest bit. And so it doesn't take anything for them to sacrifice a child. There are people out here doing that for free because it gets them some little pittance of whatever they think makes them have a little more. Word is that he wanted to be able to not have her testify against him if he was convicted. A lot of people's parents take pay. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Yeah. Yep. Hank Shockley. It's her uncle. Mm-hmm. And if you look at some old footage when she was like Star Search and all that, and sitting on the couch with Johnny Carson, it was very provocative. She was young. I didn't like it. Very provocative. And I loved her as a singer. She was talented. But I wrote a book. And in that book, I wrote chapters called Pretty Girl Syndrome and Pretty Boy Syndrome. They are very serious. People that have children that are just highly aesthetically pleasing. We have to teach them that they are more than just beauty, because it is a drug. When I tell you beauty is a drug, the world doesn't require that much out of really pretty, aesthetically pleasing people. They don't. Your pretty is enough. You all know it. We all know somebody who has that kid that societally their aesthetic is like, oh, look at, and everywhere you go, they say, oh, look at, she is pretty. Oh, child, she's so beautiful. Girl, you is so cute. They don't require her to be anything. Now, she could be dumb as a dog, and I mean that with all respect. No insult to the child. She don't have to be smart or nothing. All she got to do is be cute. The world will yield things to pretty people that someone who they define as just basic couldn't even. You better read that book and do that homework. I'm telling you, they do it to boys too. And what they say to mothers is, "Oh, child, he is going to be breaking hearts, honey. Them girls is going to be at your door." They're saying this about a child. A child. So what the indoctrination already says is, because he's so cute, he doesn't have to do anything. And oh, the women are going to be throwing themselves like it's a given. And here's the deal. What happens is, I'm telling you, this thing called life is a school. God, we have come back here because we had to overcome something we didn't get right in our past incarnation, in our spirit's past incarnation. So help me God. That book is having my say. But I also have, well, my book, A Shot in the Dark, we're putting it up. So you'll be able to buy that soon. It's pretty privileged, big time. And it's very unhealthy because it's destructive. Because guess what? What I know about this life is you may have someone who is just what somebody in society, not me, but somebody in society describes as average. And they got to work hard. They got to do that work. They got to know their stuff when they come into a specific field or something. They have to know their stuff. That pretty person can sashay in, and just based on pretty privilege, they get access to stuff. But then beauty fades. And something about pretty people, their looks start to fade relatively. It's almost like it flips the script. And then they're washed, as the young people call it. And there's nothing. They find out that they really don't have skills, or they don't really know anything. And then they're stuck in a it's like that guy that's always like, back when I was in high school, I was the captain of the football team. That dude, mind you, he got a cane and his right foot is bad, but that's what he's living off of, that one accomplishment. Absolutely. She was. I remember. Listen, I remember this. So I used to go to all the music conventions and all the stuff. I told you I'm a vocalist. I've been around all these people. I could tell you stories, and trust me, the celebrity will be able to say, "Oh, yep, I didn't know that was her. Yep, you was there. Yep, yes." I'm not going to waste my time with it. Maybe someday on different topics. But I remember, I knew Monica. I remember being at a music convention, this whole thing in New York, and I can see all these memories in my head very live, like they're real. Let me go back to what I was saying about the pretty girl syndrome. The pretty girl syndrome and the pretty boy syndrome is destructive because they get to a certain age and they realize they haven't really made any contribution to life. They don't have a thing. They don't have anything tangible, and the looks start to fade and it's no longer a commodity. And so we destroy people like that. We destroy people. Oftentimes they're women that can just get anything from a man, whereas there's some other woman who is a phenomenal woman, and she got to damn near do backflips and walk on her hands and all type of stuff to just get common courtesies. It is destructive. If you have children that society calls aesthetically pleasing and pretty and oh so handsome and all that, please make them multifaceted. I got one upstairs, gorgeous. Everywhere we go, people are like, "Oh my God, you're gorgeous. Oh my God, you're so beautiful." She brilliant. Don't sleep. My daughter is studying to be an astrophysicist. She is brains and beauty. Right now in AP Lit, she got 107. That's what her grade is. 107. Like, I am playing Pretty Girl Syndrome or Pretty Boy Syndrome. I'm not raising that. Trust and believe, it's dangerous. I know a lot of those girls. There were these girls in Brooklyn where I grew up. There were three sisters. What society said, they had pretty hair and they were light skinned and they were pretty. Oh, and all the boys wanted them. And I'm not going to name them because I saw two of them in subsequent years. It's been many moons ago, but I saw two of them in subsequent years and they got themselves together. But let me tell you what happened to them. Because they were so cute, every guy wanted to talk to them and give them stuff and date them and all that. And so, yeah, when all these guys are raining adulation down on you, you start to feel, oh, wow, like everybody wants me. And so they would date a lot of guys. They was throwing shots of hip, shot a hip over here, shot a hip over there, getting whatever they wanted. And then they all became the advent of crack. I'm from that generation where crack came upon the scene and all three of them were smoked out. And when I tell you they were beautiful girls, they went from being everybody's dream to ran through and smoked out. When I say smoked out, I'm not talking about like they're smoking, but nobody really knows. And they're just at that precipice. No, I'm talking about, and anybody who from the culture, I'm talking about that. Hey, girl, how you doing? Oh, I ain't seen you in a long time, boy. How your mama doing? Girl, what else is that? You got $2? And I'm talking about they went from you got $2 to let me hold a quarter. A quarter ran through and burnt out. I'm talking standing by a park in my neighborhood where I grew up, turning tricks down the block from where they was from. Bad. But that's what happens to pretty girls. They get run through and then nobody wants them. Some of them get wifed up and them and they have that, they've been with their dude for a long time and he gives them everything and all that. And then guess what? And they live in that great life. They whipping a Range Rover. They out there. Their house is nice. They always, every time you see them dipped. And then one day you see her somewhere and she ain't looking so right. And you're like, what's going on with her? Because he met a younger, tighter, fresher model. Because like R. Kelly said, we remind them of their car. So, if you got the 2012 Honda Accord, you get a couple of nickels, you want that 2024. And people who are superficial, thank you, I appreciate it. Yes, my baby is beautiful. I love her so much, but she's brilliant. His smile gets them every time. Listen, make them multidimensional because, baby, make them multifaceted because I'm telling you. Yep. And it's so sad. They end up, I see you, Denisha, they end up turning into crackheads or whatever the drug du jour is, because pretty is made to fit. They get access to everything. And most of them feel empty. Thank you. I'm so glad that you found my channel too. Welcome to the Nerd Herd, honey, where we okay being nerds, knowing stuff, reading, knowing facts and all that. And we okay. And we don't have to be in the, and listen, it takes all kinds to make the world go round. I'm not knocking anybody. There's something, YouTube streets, there's something for everybody. But we have our lane and it's okay to be in our lane. And the men, yes, they end up getting on drugs and they always be like, yo, I used to be the quarterback of my high school football. I was the dude, remember? And they always that dude that's like, remember how everybody used to sweat me? Remember that, yo? And it was like, and it's always some guy that's like, he's so shocked to see the guy that he had hero worship on fell from grace. He like, yeah, yo, he was that dude back in the days because, he really don't want to make him feel good. It's the truth. They usually, the dude is usually you in the morning getting up, going to work, and he's sitting on a dumpster. Hey, Miss Lady, what's up, girl? How you doing? Oh, don't act like you're shit all that. You don't want to say hi to a ninja. All right, then. You ain't all that anyway. Am I spitting facts or what? And the chick still got that old switch when she walk. Is half crackhead, half. I know I'm cute. Because she don't realize that anybody can really see the depths of how low she's fallen. In her mind, she's still pretty girl, which makes it even sadder because in her mind, she still thinks she's outside. But we all can see that she is a mere shadow of her former self. But because it's so indelibly marked in their spirit and their fibers, they don't get it. They still think you're jealous. And you're not. Yeah. That walk be stank. That's that stank walk. Like that twist, that wire waistline be, oh, I'll be feeling bad. Like, oh God. Poor ting, boy, poor ting. And here's the deal. Sometimes I know that they're so low and trying to hang on. I will always say, hey, pretty, what's up? You're beautiful, girl. How you doing, beautiful? Have a great day, queen. Because I want to uplift them. I don't, nothing resonates in me to take them down or make them not feel good. I want to uplift them. So I'll be like, yeah, queen, how you doing? Uh-huh. Still talking about the Lexus and 90. Listen. And I'm telling you, and I know it's probably irritating and it's probably sad too. It's sad because here's the thing. Back then, if anybody can be totally honest with themselves, there was some guy that you liked that you just wanted him to notice you. And this ninja couldn't see you because all he could see was her. And he was like, gosh, like, and you didn't mean no harm. You didn't hate her. You knew she was beautiful. But you like, what's up? I'm outside too. Can I get some love? But always remember, rejection is God's protection because he might be the one that got her all effed up in the game and strung out. So, you dodged a proverbial bullet, so to speak. But it's really real. Like, we have to know that things are not what they seem. We have to understand that things are oftentimes not what they seem, just like this case. It's not what it seems. And it came out. And here's the thing. The old adage, the devil's in the details, baby, it told everything I needed to hear. See, it's the details that told. Sometimes when people are fronting and they go so hard, they tell on themselves. When I started adding up all these little facts, they was running through my head. Just I started like, it's like, what? This doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. This is craziness. Can anybody see this? Am I the only one who can see this? It doesn't pass the smell test. I could be totally wrong. They could be totally helping the victims. I could be totally wrong. And here's the deal. If that's what the case is, all power to them. If that's what the case is, all power to them. I'm not saying don't be represented. Oh, by all means. And let me just give a disclaimer, because attorneys are very litigious. Reacquaint yourself with my inalienable right to free speech as protected by the United States Constitution under which I was born. The ideas and the sentiments expressed here are simply that of the Dopest Nerd channel. These are merely opinions. Opinions is for entertainment and educational purposes only. YouTube, pass your little disclaimer thing. These are just opinions to the best of our knowledge and understanding. Opinions, they're not rooted in fact. Don't take anything here as fact. Go out and do your own check. Do your due diligence and seek for yourself. I am simply expressing opinion. Yeah. I mean, listen, like you said, Renee, been telling us the whole time. Like, just think of the names. Think of the names of the songs. Think of the name of the company. Think of the name of, the music and think of the names. Which one of them are redeeming? Opinions, and more opinions, baby. Let's tell them. I'm gonna make some shirts. Opinions, and more opinions. Yeah. Thank you. I listen. I just try to look deep into. I use my discernment. I really try to just use my discernment. And I was just like, why do I keep getting this uneasy feeling? And the Most High was like, sit down and go through it all. And I was like, okay. And once I started going through it, I was like, what? I said, oh, no, 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 honey. I'm not going to be a monkey's uncle. Not at least for this case. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I love the vest you are. First of all, Nerd Herd family, let me just tell y'all, I love y'all. Merch coming. Hey, trust your gut. Listen, I keep telling y'all that gut microbiome, that is your second brain. It's probably your first brain, but it's your second brain. Your cerebral cortex, this brain, and your gut microbiome are one and the same. Respect them both. If you want to have clear, concise thoughts, you cannot live off of a diet of Sunkist and don't you wanna Fanta. You can't drink all that junk and think that your brain gonna function. You're destroying your gut microbiome. They said now that, according to the streets, this is what I heard, educational entertainment purposes only, YouTube, that there are now micro metallics being placed in Coca-Cola products. Y'all need to drink your chlorophyll. Shed those metals. There are heavy metals everywhere. You got to get them out. Be very conscious of the food you're consuming. Your gut microbiome and your brain are one and the same. Everything that is wrong with you is centered in your gut microbiome. Yep. That's why your stomach, that's why when something goes wrong, you're like, I don't know. I got butterfly. When you walk into an uneasy situation, what you get? They call it butterflies in your stomach. When you are standing at the altar with the man that you love and you start to get this queasy feeling and you feel it in your stomach. You walk into a room in the office, everything was good when you left the day before. You walk in and you feel a sense of shade. Where you feel it? In the pit of your gut. Your spidey senses start tingling and you have to figure out something and you're in the presence of some people and something don't feel right. Where you say, I have to trust my gut. Who just said that? Esmeralda, you have to trust your gut. It's all in your stomach. It's your brain. It's your extension of your brain. If it don't fit, you must not F with it. That's the truth. And I hate to have to come to this conclusion, but I haven't seen anything else that refutes it. You understand? I haven't seen anything that refutes the questions I have. Now, how would a victim feel to call in, tell what happened, give them all of her information about how she was victimized, only to find out later on they killed the story. They don't want to all your, they're going to, if somebody is set up to take all your information and then methodically kill all the evidence of it, you end up with nothing. You end up with nothing. And then guess what? You are further victimized, not the least of which is once you sign that thing, baby, that's your signature on that thing. You done signed all your rights away. Y'all got to read these things. Like, don't be signing shit without reading. And understand that you have, and I think that's what sometimes would annoy people about me, because I'm always willing to challenge a thing. Okay, so listen, I don't like such and such. Listen, I'm not comfortable with the terms of this agreement. Here's how I need it to be revised. I don't agree with that. Let's change number 2. Let's change. That's how I am. That annoys people about me. Like, I'm really the chick that sit there and read the terms and agreements and be like, oh, I'm not getting this app. Nope, I don't agree to those terms. Whenever somebody makes a contract and it's unbelievably, I mean, most companies that issue terms and agreements in a contract make it benefit them. Things are in favor. The hand is lopsided more in favor of them than you. But when someone writes a contract that's supposed to be and steps forward under the auspices of representing you as a victim. And that contract reads shaded and among, you better act like you know. You're not under any obligation to sign. You have the option to not. If anybody wants you to rush into the signing of anything, they're not in your corner. I guarantee you, if somebody says sign this now and you start to read it and they go, it's just standard stuff, baby, walk away. Walk away. It is not in your best interest. When people start trying to push me to sign something, nata bombo clat, I have to read it. If you don't like that, then you don't like me. That's it. No love loss. Exactly. You are re-victimizing victims. I'm not for that. And I can't stay quiet. I have to cry aloud and spare not. Offense may come, but woe unto him from which it comes. When God calls you to be his anointed ones, his chosen ones, his vessels, or just being a child of God in and of itself, he's not going to sanction. What old lady, what mama and them used to say? God don't bless no mess. None. And what happens, how that is manifest is God will impart into someone, hey, tingly spidey senses, let this sucker here know that this something ain't right here. Now you go and talk to the masses and let them know. That is how it manifests. So it's not a matter of me just, let me come say something, because I'm not here to besmirch anybody. We live in a capitalist society and everybody finds a hustle. And that's why I tell people all the time, don't come. I had people coming at me, oh, you interviewed that man with that book. Listen, I'm a content creator trying to grow my channel into a full-fledged podcast. I interview a lot of people. I will interview any story that I think is erstwhile and deserves to further investigation. And by virtue of the fact that I'm interviewing someone doesn't mean that I agree wholeheartedly with their content. It doesn't mean that I'm in agreement with anything they say. It simply means I have elicited this person to bring them out and have a conversation with me because I have concerns and questions. And I have things that I want to bring up. And I may agree with one thing and not 17 others. Because two things can happen at the same time. We're multifaceted beings. Stop being so flat. We're complex beings. That's right. Never sign anything that you ever read. And if you read it and you know you don't understand it, make sure you have someone that you respect and you deem to have sound, sage wisdom and advice to look over it for you. Don't be rushed into anything. And it's always that small print. It's always the small print. Let me read some of these comments. That's right. No deboing. Because anybody that's like, oh, just sign. Don't worry. It's all good. They don't care for you. They don't care for you. Yeah. Listen, people seem to think that I owe them an explanation. I promise you. I had somebody come try to dress me up. The enemy of my enemy is not my friend. You shouldn't read. Listen, boo. That's like when, and here's another thing that irritates me. That's when someone is talking about a topic. Like, let's say people are addressing this topic and they're in a platform, or it's on Facebook or here, there, wherever. And somebody comes in, oh, this is a distraction. Y'all sitting here being distracted. What's going on in the real? Well, then why did you stop your funky ass over here? Since you're so focused on what's real, why are you here? Why are you here? Why you stop to say that? To me, when people come and impart that into a discussion, they are the dissenters sent to throw you off your track. They are sent to distract you from sin being exposed. They're a dime a dozen. Everywhere you turn, somebody's like, oh, this is a distraction. While y'all paying attention to this over here, what about wah, wah, wah? Then why are you here, sir? Perhaps dilly-dally your ass down these internet streets over to womp, womp, womp and give your 2 cents there. Why have you stopped here? You distracted too? Why are you here? I say that to them all the time. They get 2 things can be true at the same time. This can be something going on. This can be the exposing of sinister behavior and harm to innocent people and children, and the time where people are getting justice. And something could be going on down the street too. We're grown-ups. We can multitask. We can. That's just how God created us. When you stop in to a topic and tell people, this is a distraction, what you're telling people is, I think you're so stupid, you can only focus on one thing at a time. And so let me dangle some strings over here and jazz hands and bring you down here. Go away. Why'd you stop by? Why are you here? You don't like the information? You don't like the topic? Why are you stopping to say something? Because the way this internet works, all you got to do is scroll. You don't have to stop in, take your time, sit there, peck, and write out something. Get skedaddle, scram, kick rocks. Why are you here? And so don't let anybody gaslight you into being on a particular page or engaging in content and understanding what's being said and participating. Don't let nobody gaslight you. I don't care what the topic is. The topic could be, should whales, wear earrings? If that's what you're interested in and that's what you want to discuss, knock yourself out. Don't let nobody come along and tell you nothing about whales don't even have ears. Mind your business. Mind yours and scram. God gave us a variety of thoughts, ideas. He made a variety of platforms, everything. You can find whatever suits your taste here. You can find whatever holds your interest, and you are not obligated to be a part of conversations you don't want. You have the right to choose where you want to be. You could be a nerd and say, these are the things that interest me, and there you go. Know yourself and trust yourself. Like I always tell my kids, know your voice and own your voice and own your truth. Use your voice. You have a right to. Don't let nobody gaslight you into silence or, oh, let me not pay attention to this. Let me scroll down there. Listen, there's lots of books out there. So how much money do people think that content creators that are monetized are making on their pages talking about these things? They pick and choose who they. Don't let nobody gaslight and bully you. Don't let nobody make you feel like you have to join their gaslight campaign against somebody. You know how many people talk stuff on the internet? I've seen pages where I'm on the page. You know what I had somebody do the other day? I promise you. It was what is Joe Budden's podcast called? I don't know the name of it. I'll call it the Joe Budden podcast. And so they were discussing the case, and somebody said, oh, Shine came out there, he's brave. And people's like, oh, he's so brave, and he's this and he's that. And so there's a guy on the show called Ish. I don't know them. I don't watch them like that. I've seen it on a clip or two, but I don't know them. But Ish said, I don't rock with that. If somebody made me sit down for 10 years in jail, let me take a hit and let the world think I did A, B, C, D, E, F, G or whatever, like he's saying now, I'm not going to be on no stage with them. I'm not rocking with them. This is madness. I'm not going to be nobody's friend who has done me dirty. And that's just it. All these people start saying, oh, he's corny. He's just sweating people now. He's corny. I said, nah, I agree with him. He's 100% right. He's the only one that has sincere integrity on this topic. That is 100% right. If somebody disrespected or violated your daughter, you're going to do a concert with them because I'm trying to be the bigger guy? I said, this is foolishness. I said, there were victims here. If he's so brave, victims spoke out forever and a day. Why is he brave all of a sudden? You know what this person told me? I commented on this person's post. Person told me, shut the F up. The victim didn't say that. This, that, the other. I said, mother effer, I am her. I am her. What are you talking about? Who are you talking about? I'm Natanya Rubin. Click that little picture and go see my page. Person told me off. The victim said, da, 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 da. I said, oh, really? Where? Then they want to block me and stuff. Okay, I don't care. Perhaps I'm not your cup of tea. How you going to be righteously indignant and talk about you don't know what you talking about? You out here capping. The victim said blah, blah, blah. I said, you's a mother and lie. I am her. I never said that. Never. Now you mad. What you mad for? You thought you was flexing on me. Telling me what the victim said. Huh? The foolishness. This is what I'm telling you. There's always somebody out here willing to go hard and pay for something they don't know. Don't let them gaslight you. Like what you like. To thine own self be true. To thine own self be true. Yeah, I didn't listen. Child, that and $2.50 they could get on a train or however much the train costs. I don't even know. I drive. I couldn't tell you. But I don't want to hold y'all forever because I'm a talker. I'm a talker. We'll be here forever. But honestly, I thought it was crazy. Person tried to flex on me and then be mad and wanting to block me. And it's not the first time. I've had a whole bunch of people. I had somebody tell me when I said I had like stipped out all this stuff, I was like, there are victims here. You can't, and I didn't even at the time say I was the victim. I just said there are victims. These are not victimless cases, da, 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 da. And people came in all under the comments telling me off like crazy. And I'm like, are you dumb? I was like, absolutely not. You're wrong. That's a lie. That's false. Oh, you just out here capping. You don't know. You don't know. How could you know? You think you know, but you just making shit up on the internet. I said, Ninja, I am Natanya Rubin. Click that little circle with the picture in it and look on my page. I shouldn't even have to tell you that. If somebody says something, that's what I do. I click the picture and look at their page and see what's the history of their comments. Because it'll show you. I go to their page, it'll show you their comments on a spectrum of conversations. And it gives me a mindset of who the person is. And I either engage them or disengage. It's easy to see. I'm like, go click the picture and come back and tell me. So here's the thing. I won't say somebody's going after somebody. I will say, because I don't qualify it as 50 going after anybody. I qualify it as he has firsthand experience with these people, and he has said irrefutably, there are some people who are just outspoken and are going to cry aloud and spare not, like me. If I'm in an environment where a bunch of people are, and I know somebody to be doing something that I deem unscrupulous, I'm not going to rock with them. But if they keep trying to insert themselves and approach me and say things, baby, ain't no way. I'm going to pull you to the mat. I bet it's cold. I'm going to pull you to the mat. We're going to have this discussion out in the open. And so if I know that you are a thief, when you come around in mixed company, I'll be like, y'all ladies, hold your purses now. Put your bag on your hip. Make sure you got your bags with you. There's sticky fingers in here. That's what I'm going to say. Why would I stay quiet and let you be dipping in people's? I know chicks that were thieves. These chicks not going to steal your whole pocketbook. Oh, no, these was old veterans, honey. They'll go in your bag. They'll say, oh, where's the restroom? They'll go to the bathroom. They'll take one of your checks out your checkbook. One check and put all your shit back. You won't even notice nothing is missing. And they'd have made a whole identity for you across town. Thieves. Oh, I pulls their coat. I'd be like, y'all get your bags. I'm not responsible for any stolen items in the shop because there'd be thieves in here. Look to your left, look to your right. The person sitting next to you could be a thief. Get your shit. I'm not going to play games. So if somebody is constantly crying aloud and sparing not, and dropping gems on a person because they had firsthand experience and they know who that person is. And what they're saying is, not only do I not like this, you may not like this. Let me peep you to game so you can be buyer beware. Because I'm sure there's people around that have no clue. They don't have no clue. Some people say he got the same situations. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, I don't hear people out there screaming him out. And it doesn't mean that it's based on innocence. It could be like Debo. Somebody strong arming you, but you don't feel like you have the power to strong arm them back. What you said, take a check. Oh, listen, these suckers that take it, I don't even know where they pull the check from, but baby, I know they do it. I know they've done it. Listen, if I know it's people doing dirt, I'm going to peep you up. Be aware. Hold your pocketbooks. We're not responsible for any missing checks or checkbooks or money or anything. Hold your bags in this shop. Yeah, I'm going to say that. I'm not going to let people victimize my people. And they could be other people. It could be a thief sitting under the dryer. I'm going to let you come and be a client here because money is green. And my bills, that's what they take. But I'm not going to let everybody else be a sitting duck because they're in mixed company and they're comfortable in the environment. And so they may get slack and like just rest a bag on a table or shit. No. Not the least of which is the Bible says, show thyself approved. So if you're approved to know what is right and what is wrong, and God has called you to be a vessel, approved means speaking out in the face of negativity and dirt. No, I'm not going to say that. Listen, Jaguar Wright been in the game. See, a lot of people don't know. Jaguar Wright is old in this game. Jaguar Wright is a singer. She's been in the game for a long time. A long time. She knows a lot of these people firsthand. See, people who are not, I've been in the industry, so I know. I could tell y'all a lot of stories. I've been in the industry. I could tell y'all a shit ton of stories, and y'all be like, where'd she get these stories from? She don't know them people. You think I don't? My voice has been on lots of songs out here. Some artists make it, others don't. I have a song that's in the opening of one of my video clips. That's me singing. There's a lot of people like, you sing? I didn't know that. I know a lot of people. I'm not just a singer, I'm also a writer. A lot of these people in this industry, trust me, I could tell you firsthand. Back when I used to be a party promoter, I used to go out to different industry things and personally go to these record companies and give them passes, VIP passes to my events. I have been standing in Jay-Z's office right there on Fulton Street in Manhattan to go give him VIP passes. I know his mama. Gloria is my friend. We haven't seen each other in years, but we were friends. And we ain't have no fallouts or nothing. I just don't see them anymore. I know lots of people. So don't believe that she don't know people. Because ask yourself this. If you think she's a liar, how come ain't nobody sue her? These are litigious people that will sue you and cease and desist you with the slightest thing. Ask yourself why she's not sued. Ask yourself. Don't sleep on what she's telling you. You may not like the messenger, but don't disavow the message. Do not. I'm telling you. I know a lot of these people, and I know a lot of their business that I shouldn't know. Listen, there was a time where I was getting a record deal, a major deal. Thank God I didn't sign. The things I heard, I had to be in the office with, first they'll say, you come audition. Then they'll be like, okay, come back. This particular record company made me come back tomorrow. We want this person to hear you. Then they would randomly call me. Oh, be up here in an hour. We got such and such. We want to hear you. I was shopping it with a song I had done with a reggae artist. I went to high school with this reggae artist. He was like, yo, I need you on my song. So I did the vocals on the song. The song is dope. I shopped to get a deal with that particular song because I just thought that was very on trend. It was popping. It was dope. They like, who this Jamaican nigga? We're going to take him off and we're going to put such and such and all this. And I was like, no. This is his song. I'm the feature. Not taking him off. Oh, no. We're going to put a rapper on there. He'll be all right. No, this is my friend. And that's not how this is going to go down. But see, they were kind of like, because they're not used to an artist speaking back. So especially an artist who wants a deal. They're used to the artist just being like, okay. And so they're telling me they're going to do this, that, and making me come back over and over. And I'm sitting in a room and you have to work with this A&R and we only sign in the second and fourth quarter and that, or first and third, and then recoup in the second and fourth and yada, yada, this boom by and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, okay, I hear that. And so, yeah, you're going to work with this A&R. And I'm sitting in a room with the A&Rs and you're talking about notable people who if I tell this story right now, the artist will know I'm telling the truth. But you're telling me these stories because you want to see what I'm willing to go for, what I'm willing to hear. And I was like, oh, yeah, not cool. I'm talking, not just telling me little tidbits, talking about how they dogged certain female singers that are still out now. Dog passed her around. Everybody was digging that back out. You're not going to do all that in front of me because my grandmother always said, God rest her soul. What they do in your presence, they'll do worse to you in your absence. Whatever you go for in your presence, they're going to do worse to you. And so if you're calling this person who is someone you make money from and with, and you telling me all this dirt about her, what you going to do? What you think you're going to try to do to me? Because I have to say think, because you ain't getting that down with me. I don't play them games. I don't need no record deal that bad. I own a business. I was leaving my beauty salon to come there. So I was good. You could be a business owner now, baby, but a business owner in the 90s. See, it wasn't all these YouTube, oh, get this and you can get this funding from here. No, I had to come up with that Skrilla and I had to make that thing work. And I owned many businesses over the years, many. Trust me, the ease of, running this play and getting this, that, and funding from here and this, that, and all this shit that's going on YouTube. I ain't knocking nobody. All power to you. Dope. But we didn't have none of that back then. You had to come with that guap and run that business. I would be in my shop 22 hours a day sometimes. No exaggeration. I had an office with clothes, and one of my homegirls lived around the corner, was like, here, Ab, take the key to my house. You always up in this mug. If you ever need to go take a nap or a shower or whatever, go ahead. I had whole full wardrobes in my office, a whole clothing rack. So all this newfangled business, I'm not knocking nobody. I think it's sweet. But show me you a true business person by, especially if you're my age, show me. I was a businesswoman in my early 20s when everybody else was bullshit and party and bullshit. I was grinding. And everybody who knows me knows it. So don't sleep. Now, does she embellish? I'm sure she does, but who amongst us doesn't? Everybody that tells a story, you tell the story based on your own purview. Our recollections of every story is based on our bullshit. I'm telling you, if other people was there, they'll be like, what? No, that's not how. So please remember that bias exists. Always remember that. Yeah, Steve Harvey's a creep. I don't like him either. Yeah, I don't like nothing about him. And that time when he was on the show with Monique, and he was like, this is the money business. This is, ooh, baby, he lacks so much integrity. I was like, not gonna be able to do it. Yeah, that was a baby. When I tell you I used to be in the shop, and I'm going to tell you, them same guys from the block, like, the dudes on the block, people used to be like, oh, I don't want these guys standing in front of my business. And I was like, you really shouldn't act like that to them. Like, guys standing in front of your business or on the block, they know us. So they're going to take care of us. They're going to, why? No, other businesses ain't want to listen to me. They used to, oh, don't stand in front of my store. And guess what? Every single business, I had a beauty salon on Washington Avenue by the Brooklyn Museum, down the block from the Brooklyn Museum. Every single business in that area was robbed except me. And I was running a cash business. I was standing up in the shop 3 a.m, weaving hair. Cash. I could come with a big window where everybody that drive by could see that we still open. So help me God, I unlocked that door trying to get into the car. You hear somebody, ooh, yo, Eb, we got your back, boo. We watching you. You good? You ain't got to worry. Go ahead and do what you good. Lock up. We good. We out here. You looking around. You can't see a person. I have never gotten robbed. So never sleep on the dudes on the block. The dudes on the block will protect you. But, I come from a different cloth. So, yeah, you had to market yourself without social media. I created, you know what my nickname was? The Track Master. I created a weaving system that was so flat you could run your hand down that hair and never feel a bump. I had clients, I'm not exaggerating. I had clients from England, The chick from England would come every 3 months and get her sewing from me. She went home to visit Africa. She was African. She went home to visit Africa. So help me God. All of her sisters made a trip and came from Africa and came to get their hair done by me. Not the least of which is all other states, because I did flawless weaves which my weave could last longer than 3 months, but I tell people 3.5 months is the max because your hair starts to naturally lock at that point. And so help me God, my head professionally, not ego wise or anything. My head I had clients that came from England and Africa every 3 months to get a sew-in from me in the 90s. Not the least of which is chicks that would come from Philly and all other states to come to Brooklyn to get their hair done. So trust in me when I tell you, I was grinding. I'm a businesswoman. That's who I am. That's who I am. I love it. It takes a lot more. Most people could just go do their 8 hours and come on home. Oh no, I was in there. So I love it. Were you in our city? Where are you now or back in New York? No, I'm not in New York anymore. But I had my businesses in New York. When I was in New York, I had businesses in New York and then here in Atlanta. So I'm a business person. That's what I do. I'm never afraid. I had barbershops, beauty salons, spa, all of that. I ain't afraid of no hard work now. Yeah. I had one on Bedford Avenue in Brooklyn, right next door to Uncle Ralph's Urban Gear. Ralph McDaniels, who was the creator of the Black music video. Back then when MTV would not play MTV wouldn't play Michael Jackson, okay? MTV would not play any Black music videos. So Ralph McDaniels, he was VJ Ralph McDaniels. He had a show called Video Music Box he created, and he would show Black music videos. That's where we could see. And then it was back in the days where the TV had the turn up here and then the turn down here. So the main channels up here, and then you had to turn it. I think it was the UV something or whatever, but at the bottom you had to turn it. And those were what they would call public access channels, like channel 31 and all of that. Ralph was a institution. Google Video Music Box. Go on. They may have a YouTube page. Go look on their YouTube page. Tell them Ebony sent you. EBONE with an accent aigu. So if you're using your phone, you have an iPhone or an Android. When you hold down the regular E, all of the other accented E's will pop up, and then you slide back one. Mine is the accent aigu. And just tell them Ebony sent you. Look him up, Video Music Box. That's a history. He has video archival footage and videos no other platform has of all of the advent of all that Black music, all of the hip hop videos from back in the days. Because guess what? Nobody would play them except him. And so I remember him telling me of when Wu-Tang first came to him to get their videos. They walked in his office and he was like, nah, y'all can't come in with that because they have blunts and 40s. And they went in the hallway and lined their 40s up all the way up the wall, and they blunt so that everybody can know whose is whose. They lined it up and came in the office. And he said, yeah, when y'all come to see me, y'all gonna come see me appropriately. And made all of their videos. And everybody else for the culture, every other Black person, because they couldn't get, not only could most people not get videos made, they couldn't get videos played anywhere. So now when people need archival footage of, let's say, an old blah, 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 they have to go to him and pay him for 30 seconds worth of a clip or stuff like that. I mean, the man is a genius. Ralph McDaniels, he's like a brother to me. And his brother, Brian and Reno, used to run the clothing store, which was next door to my beauty salon. So listen, been there, done that, got t-shirts galore. Grew up with people in the industry, deep in this thing, and was myself in the industry. When I was 14, I sang on Shaka Khan's album, a song called We Are Watching the World. As a 14-year-old, I sang on Shaka Khan's album. So I'm not new to this. I am absolutely unequivocally true to this. Absolutely. Yeah, I wrote a book, but I just can't put it out yet because still parts of the story is unfolding. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, see, Brooklyn is a different, and New York is a beast of a different color. In New York, as a 14, 15-year-old, I was a grown woman. Grown. Like I really was. And not just me. 15-year-olds in New York are adults. We might maybe now is slightly different, but trust me, back then, oh, you was all the way grown. Grown. It was a beast of a different color. And you had to be there to get it. Like there's parts of history, the 90s, that if you were not an adult to interact in this 90s scene, nothing anyone tells you could ever make it real. Like you could, I see them do like retellings and movies and they try to illustrate it, and some of the illustrations rise to the occasion, but I'm telling you, you had to physically be there. It was a whole different world. We had a club called The Tunnel. It was called The Tunnel because it was an old train rail yard. Huge warehouse. A train rail yard. The dopest club you ever seen. But did so much go down in that club? Listen, the club had co-ed bathrooms. And baby, if you ever went in a bathroom in the tunnel, just standing in the bathroom, you would have enough stories to live a lifetime. So much went down in that place. So much. But a lot of crimes happen in there too. And outside. And, just a lot went down. It was a different time. You can't even articulate it into words. It was a different time. No, our kids could not. They could not survive. They not built for that life, baby. I think because of all we experienced, we literally have given them the soft life. The reason women can say, I want that soft life, is because we had to go through that gritty, grimy, and then we have provided the soft life for our children because we don't want them exposed to the same. Unisex bathrooms in the club, when I tell you, I'm talking full on intercourse would be going on in there, in the open. People smoking, some people doing bumps, people doing all measure of things. And this was par for the course. It was not even anything that stood out. It was just, okay, so Yana, it was just things. I'm talking all measure of foolishness went on in there. All measure of foolishness. The selling of pharmaceuticals. They had pharmaceutical representatives that worked in the club. Like it was a different thing. And if you try to tell somebody, you still will never truly grasp. When I say intercourse, I'm talking full on backshot taking place. And somebody like, is tissue in this bathroom? Like, not standing out to anyone, just what it was. I promise, it sounds crazy, but you wouldn't even know the half. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, okay. You listen, it was a whole different place. It was a different world. New York is in the 90s was a beast of a different kind. The 80s too. The 80s and the 90s was different. Baby. Their customer service. What is there a first part to that? Yeah, listen, Renee, when we try to tell people, when my daughter says like, oh my God, sometimes I wish I could go in a time machine and just go back to when you were a teenager or in your young 20s, just to stand in the corner and watch. Like, I just want to know, like, I hear all these stories. It was a movie. Just like that song that said, it's a photo shoot. It was an entire movie. It was like unreal. Like you really couldn't imagine what it was. It was something different, but it was an experience. Like I don't have regrets. I learned a lot, and the experiences made us wise. Oh, baby, the pharmaceutical reps. Yes, darling. Yes. Listen, when I say pharmaceutical reps, I'm talking about Pookie and Man now. Not Mr. Poindexter. Pookie and Man. Remember on Good Times where the guy was, my name is Lenny, and I got Mene, and he had that he opened his trench coat and he had all kinds of chains and all type of stuff. Yeah, it was all that going on. It was all that craziness going on. All of that. They opened a trench coat, drugs on this side, jewelry on this side, whatever you need. It was crazy, but it was an experience. And yeah, I mean, can't you? And it was listen, and it was hot, and it was dark, and it was all types of stuff. But it was we went back every week, or I didn't go every week, but we went back regularly. But it was the experience of the times. It was a time gone era that I don't think will ever. First of all, yeah, it could never come back because, baby, when I say it violated every statute, law, code, municipality, everything, violated everything. I don't think it could exist again. Yes, indeed, had everything. And they did provide good service because trust me, everybody kept coming back. And the line was, listen, the line to get in this place. Oh my goodness. And when I tell you, think of a New York warehouse, an old train rail yard. So you know how big a city train is. And railroad cars, huge, massive. This place would have thousands and thousands of people thousands and thousands of people on a regular night. I don't mean hundreds, thousands. Packed. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot to behold. I wasn't won't ever see them times again. It couldn't stand. Too much went on. Too much went on. But I think, and it has a lot to do with the times when you have someone usher in a time of excess and grandeur and oh yeah, listen, you know how they had the ladies in the club that have stuff? Child, people was doing hair and nail, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. No, babysitting, no child, you don't want a kid nowhere near that place. But a lot of stuff went on in there. Just a lot. A lot of stuff went on in there. There's tales upon tales. But it like I said, it was a time gone era. But it was the times, and it also connects back to the present case because it was the advent of excess and grandeur in hip hop and the culture. Remember, we had just left the 80s where everybody was wearing Africa medallions and grungy kind of clothes and all that stuff, and or just the Jungle Brothers and all those type of Tribe Called Quest, and then we emerged into the 90s where it became shiny suits and Gucci this, Gucci that, flashing. And we was always some good. Listen, I bought my first Gucci bag and Gucci espadrilles from the Gucci store when I was 14 because I was doing everybody's finger waves and pineapple crunch and braids, and my pockets stayed packed. I always had money. Always had money. I didn't use a book bag. I wasn't a Jansport kid. I wore a Gucci bag. That was my book bag. And not the one that the teenage girls used to wear with the little square and it had the little strap. Either if you had a blue one, it had the red and blue strap, or if you had the beige one, it had the green and red strap. No, I had had a leather horse bit handle that kind of had this arch curve to it, and you can fold it down like a clutch or you can carry it full. And it was big. The body I was 14. You grown at 14. Oh. Listen, and that's real. It was the heartbeat of New York City clubs too. That's real, Latoya. Yeah, I was an entrepreneur earlier than that. I started professionally braiding hair at 9 in the neighborhood. Mothers would want on Saturdays where you get your hair, your mother cleaned the house, and then you got to go get your hair braided for the week. I would braid hair. I would braid a lot of young girls' hair, make my little few dollars, 11. And then when the first time I did extensions, I think about 12, and I was braiding somebody's hair on the front porch. And this girl walked by and she had this accent. And I think she was from Britain. She came to visit her cousins for the summer. And she said, "Oh, do you know how to do extensions?" And of course, I was like, "Of course I do." Child, I never did extensions before. But she went to Utica Avenue to that hair store and got some synthetic hair. And by the time I was done, her hair was long. And that was it. That was it. I was weaving my mother's hair at 13, weaving people's hair. I've been doing hair forever. My grandmother was a hairstylist. My grandmother had a salon. I used to wash people's hair. I used to be with my grandmother all the time. I had every hairstyle known to mankind. I used to go to the International Beauty Show with my grandmother, and she would take me, and I would get all kinds of advanced haircuts and styles, new products, all of that. I remember when I got I think I was 14. The International Beauty Culture Convention came. I got my side shaved and I had the asymmetrical bob. You couldn't tell me nothing. As a matter of fact, it was an advent of the curls. Remember the Jerry curls or the Carefree curls or whatever curl you had? And it was fading out and the curls was getting kind of old and I wasn't really feeling it no more. And Vigorol, the Vigorol company, came out with a liquid relaxer that converted your hair from having the curls to a straight relaxer. The hairstylist gave me, because my hair, me and my sisters decided that we was gonna color our hair, and my god sister got fiery auburn, or she got auburn. I got fiery auburn, and my sister Nikki got blonde, honey blonde. And so help me God, dark and lovely. So I ain't got to tell y'all, those who know, if you know, you know, dark and lovely, aka bald in a box. So my grandmother was a hairstylist, and baby, when she saw our hair, she said, "Oh, don't tell nobody I do your hair. I don't want nobody to think I do this." She was livid with us, livid. So you know, dark and lovely, you putting that heat and all that on your hair, it's gonna break off. So my hair started breaking. So she took me to the beauty show, and baby, I got an asymmetrical bob, my side shaved all around the side and the back. Well, this side was shaved higher, but this one was shaved the back. It was like shaved around the back to the side. And I had that asymmetrical bob that came down. You couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me. So 14, I had like the newest preeminent hairstyle cuts and all. I fell in love with hair at a young age. No, my sisters don't do hair at all. They used to come to me to get their hair done. You know, Dark and Lovely is bald in a box. From you put that Dark and Lovely in back in the days, you might as well count them hair strands as gone, because the countdown was on. And I did everybody's hair. So I was making money. I remember charging back in 1984 people $45 for finger waves, because my grandmother was an infinite hairstylist, and I learned how to do the silkiest, most beautiful finger waves at an early age. And so I was murking the game. Pockets full of money. You couldn't tell me nothing. And once you start making your own money and you get that taste for money, you can't shed it. I can't turn back to mommy, can I have $20? Nope. I had a taste for money. And so when I was a teenager, I had a beauty salon in one of my mother's basements in one of my mother's houses. Everybody knew. I was the track master. You could come in the basement. I used to do all the hustlers' girlfriends. They would call me 2 a.m. I'm going to California. I need a weave. Baby, I had a bag with hair. I would, people would get a weave and then they would take it out so quick. I would take the hair, process it, wash it, condition it, deep it, clean. I had hair galore. If somebody didn't go and buy their own fresh hair, I had hair. And I promise, send it to me, send the picture. And I promise you, I could do a weave 2 a.m. And I was getting my Skrilla. Couldn't tell me nothing. I had a basement and my Brooklyn people, they know I had a basement I had a beauty salon in the basement of one of my mother's houses. We all had the curl girl, a variety of curls. S curl, Carefree curl, Jerry curl. Some people had the Hawaiian curl, the dry curl. Those were the good old days. And now I am happy to be nappy, honey. Love these locks, wouldn't trade them for nothing. I even cut them down a little bit. They were y'all see in the beginning when I first started content creating, I think they were like down here. Can you see my hands? You probably can't even see my hands. They were down here. But then I cut them. They grown back like crazy already. And I love my locks. Wouldn't trade them for the world. Yeah, I started my locks. I retwist. I do all of my hair maintenance myself. What do I use? I just wash my hair with a there's something called a co-wash. So you don't want to really strip your hair, make it too dry, because with locks, your hair can get kind of dry. So I'll co-wash my hair. Other times I will give it, if I feel like there is a level of a scent that I can get on my hair when I feel like I smell sweat or anything or build up in my hair, there's this weird scent. And so I know that smell. When I feel that, I have to wash, like a thorough washing. When I wash, I do all my lock maintenance. I think I have a lock tool in my pocket because I'll just take it with me. Yep. Look at the funniness. So I interlocked some of my locks recently. I was doing them. You could probably see the twist. You can probably see on this side. I just did my locks recently. So I didn't finish the whole head and the back, but this is the lock tool for interlocking. I have it in my pocket. Let me put it in front of my shirt so you can see it. And so you just thread your lock through the bottom like a needle. And then you go 4 ways. Of course, it doesn't want to slide through right now. Just like when you call a kid to come sing in front of the company. Yeah, you just thread it through like a needle, and then you go to the root, and you go east, west, north. You go east, south, west, north. And you should, that going down from the top should be the last pull, and then it hangs properly. Okay. Yeah, I've been a loctician forever. I started my mother's locks when my oldest son was turning 5, and he just turned 35. I mean, she's cut them since then now, but they were long, and she cut them multiple times. Thank you. Yeah, I like bright colors too. I think I'm a fuchsia girl. I love fuchsia pink. So that's my like color, my pedicure color especially. Stocking cap what? You stocking cap your locks? Honestly, a lot of people tie their hair down like, well, for the culture, Black girls, we tie our hair down. I'm not big on the tying down of my hair. Like, even with hairstyles, I would just have to thug it out. I don't like to feel anything tight on my head. And especially since I got shot, everything feels like it's constricting my head. So I don't tie my hair down. Now I should. Every now and then I might wear a bonnet, but I don't prefer anything on my head. And I got girlfriends, they be like, girl, that's blasphemy. You ain't tying your head down. I'd be like, child, no, I'm a rock it like this. You know what? Let me tell you something about satin. Silk and satin, there is something called the psychology of fabric. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Whatever I know, I'm going to share. So there's something called the psychology of fabric. They told us for years you should sleep on a satin pillow. No. The psychology of fabric, satin and silk have the lowest vibrational frequency ranking of fabrics. They are the equivalent of a corpse. So the last thing you should do is sleep on a satin pillow. You are literally laying on your head on the equivalent of unaliving, an unalived being. The best fabric is wool and linen. Cotton definitely is great, but wool and linen have the highest frequency levels of fabric. You should wear more linen and wool. Only thing they say is because they both are ranked at 100, they are the top. You should not wear them together because then they will cancel each other out. So you want to be where you don't, whatever you do, don't sleep on a satin pillow. You are laying your head on the equivalent of an unalived corpse. So get some cotton pillowcases, or listen, go to the fabric store, get you some linen. Of course, with linen, you want to make it bigger than the pillow because linen will inherently shrink. But remember, don't mix wool and linen together, which typically you wouldn't wear wool and linen together because they're for two ends of the spectrum. Linen is more for summer, Spring, summer, and wool is for winter and fall. So get yourself some linen, buy yourself like, measure out how much you would need, probably a yard for each pillow, and get yourself about 4 or 5 yards and make yourself about four. And it's not a hard thing. I know some people don't sew, but it's not a hard thing to make a pillowcase. Just mimic, one of your pillowcases. Cut your fabric to that, you know, size, and then stitch them together. You can. I don't care if you hand stitch it while you're watching TV, or you have a sewing machine and you just stitch it real quick. Put that on your pillow, lay your face on that linen. You are going to sleep with high frequency, which will give you high frequency thoughts, high frequency dreams, high frequency for your body. You just need that. Me too. I sew as well. I do reupholstery, and I'm a seamstress and all of that. But yeah, put your face on linen. Make a linen pillowcase, and the likelihood that you would find a linen pillowcase is slim to none. You're better off finding cotton, but make yourself a linen pillowcase. Also, bonnets probably need to be sewed out of linen too. We're putting our faces and our heads on impure fabrics that are not beneficial to us. And then people wonder why they have such low vibrational sleep, low vibrational dreams. All of those things matter. Look it up, the psychology of fabric. If you look on YouTube, I believe that there is there's like a little documentary about it. Look it up. It's vital information. And I'm going to tell you something. I would suggest, I said I want to come out with a line of bras, but I would suggest women go to the fabric store and buy yourself an ample amount of linen. Keep it in your house. Just buy like 2 or 3 yards and just keep it. And then as you need, cut off what you need. I would say the amount of women that are coming up with breast cancer, if I know that a fabric has either low frequency or high frequency, I'm going to cut linen and line my bras. Even if you take it and put it on some Velcro, especially in the cup part of your bras, because that's where women are coming down with cancers, and the under your arm part. I would lay my bra out. I would cut the linen to the specification of how the strapping part that goes around your body with the bra, and the cups. I don't care if you have to put like a peel and stick, if you have to put like peel and stick Velcro inside, or just stitch the linen into the inner cups of your bra like a lining. Just stitch it in. You may have, most of us as women have about 2 or 3, we have 20 bras, but we have 2 or 3 that we wear regularly because we like the way they feel. Like, let's be 100 on that. Sew the linen into the inner cups of your bra. Protect your breasts. Women are having cancer in their breasts needlessly because we're wearing all this satin, all these cute fancy textiles and all that, and they're not conducive to your body. Also, panties, ladies. I know we like our cute panties, but y'all better get back to them cotton panties, honey, because them linen panties. And then women are wondering why they have reproductive issues and they can't. And then a lot of times we wear, now I ain't gonna talk about I'm gonna draw the line at shapewear, because most of those fabrics are low vibrational fabrics. But baby, I bought a shapewear from the TikTok shop, and I don't know what sorcery this is, but I be snatched. I promise you, I advise you, do not pull it over your head, because you know when it get rolled up in that little piece of fat in your back and you can't get up. Thank God my daughter saved me one time. If my daughter wasn't here, I would have been in trouble. I was stuck up in that thing. Do not pull it over your head. Step into it and pull it up. Yes, your pH balance is out of control. Step into your thing and pull it up. But then once you have it on pulled up, you could then raise it up because it snaps in the crotch. Well, it has the bra hook and eyes in the crotch. You can raise it up and then pull it back down. When I'm telling you, aerodynamic sucking, like flat. Girl, I pulled it over my head one day. I was stuck. And then, the fabric will roll up in itself. And I'm very top heavy. And I was trying to pull it down, and I'm reaching and I'm screaming, Nirvana, help, help. She came around, mommy, running. What? Mommy, what? I was like, I'm stuck. Help me. I was stuck. Ooh, child, I'm sure all of us have had that fabric roll up in some fat, baby. You cannot get that down. But she helped me. She saved me. She rescued me. But that stuff will draw you in. The flip side is the low vibrational fabric made to use that lycra and all that stuff. We don't need that. And all the Lululemon wearers and all the, all the fancy little yoga pants, the Lululemon crew, you're killing your nether regions, honey. You're killing it. They said those things, not only is the acrylic fabric not beneficial and the spandex, but they then soak them in something called PFAS, which is an acronym, polyfluorocarbon, da 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 da. And you are killing your reproductive organs. They're endocrine disrupting chemicals, and they disrupt your endocrine system. They disrupt your reproductive organs. And then so many women are not having babies because I go to my daughter's high school and all I see is Lululemon. Lululemon shorts that, baby, too short for school, but whatever. None of my business. And the little tennis tutu skirt and leggings. And I'm telling you, horrible. Look them up. I'm not making this up. They have forever chemicals called PFAS, PFAS, which is an acronym for polyfluoro yada yada cis boomba. I don't know the rest, but it is not conducive if we want to be grandparents someday. We need to talk to our daughters about this and our young sisters out there in the street because they don't know. Nobody taught us this. Not the least of which is they are frigging abusing some child in a sweatshop to make this stuff. You looked it up, Esmeralda? You saw the silk and satin? Yeah, they're low vibrational fabrics. I know I say some stuff and people be like, child, where you come up with all this stuff from? It might sound bizarre, but I'm speaking facts. I read everything. When I tell you I have the name The Dopest Nerd for a reason, I am a nerd. I read everything. Like how people watch movies and TV shows. Girl, I couldn't tell you nothing on TV, but I could tell you every documentary made. I watch the stuff I watch, you will be bewildered. I promise you, it had to be about 4 hours. I watched a documentary about what created the disparity of women in Asian countries, Indian countries, and how this was a plot by the Rockefellers and the this and the that family. And all of these countries needed money, and they would reach out to America for money. And America would say, like they did when Indira Gandhi was the leader of India, they said, you have to sign these documents and institute a one-child rule. That is why the advent of sex trafficking is. Because there is such a deficiency of women in the world that they then go and kidnap women from everywhere else and bring them to these people who have, there are men in Asia who don't have the prospect of getting married because they instituted a one-child rule and there became a shortage of women. That's why when I hear Americans like, reproductive rights, don't take away our abortions. What a joke. They forced abortions in India. Forced sterilizations and forced abortions. I mean, they were taking babies from women that were fully engaged in a pregnancy, making them saying you can only have a certain amount of children. I promise you, if you don't believe me, go look it up. Go look it up. And it was dastardly. So when I hear them here like, we need our reproductive rights. You don't care about reproductive rights anywhere but in America. But you know what it is? And I'm saying this, and I want y'all to hear me out and hear me good when I say this. I know a lot of people don't like to hear things about good old Uncle Sam. But baby, this country is not what you think it is. It's not. All of these women that go missing and all of this schmafficking, as they say, where do you think these women are being taken to? Overseas, to these countries that America forced. They made having a son a valiant thing. And so people would kill their girl children. Yes. They would sacrifice them because they said, we don't need all these girls. But if you don't have girls, you don't have a reproductive entity in your country. And now there are a whole bunch of men of a certain age that have no prospective wives because they got rid of the girls. Look it up. If you think I'm joking, you will be sadly mistaken when you hear about all the wealthy big families in this country that instituted that all over the world. It's nasty work. When I say it's nasty, these are the type of things I watch in my spare time while I'm doing work. All these shows and all these, and I'm not knocking nobody, but the housewives are this, that, and the third. Baby, I couldn't tell you what's going on. I don't know who they are. I don't know. I need information. I'm an information junkie. Information is, if information was gold, I'd be Mansa Musa out here, the most wealthy woman in the history of the world. Yeah, I like info. I don't have time for amusements. It's just not how my brain is wired. I like to take in information. They were some straight job turkeys. Yeah, it is sick. Oh, absolutely. And I love information, and I know it's my duty to share, and I share. But what was I going to say? I was going to say something about this country. It slipped my mind. It'll pop back in a second. But this country has some dastardly tactics. Oh, like I was saying about the abortion. When you hear them talk about abortion, and you hear them say, we want to make sure that women have their reproductive rights. Well, the reason that they were trying to take away abortion is because the white population has been in negative population growth. I have been singing about this and telling people for about 15 years. So help me God, people thought I was crazy. I also 15 years ago was telling people about adrenochrome. People thought I was crazy. Crazy. Oh, that just sounds like foolishness. That's not true. I don't believe that not one bit. Stop making things up. Okay. You think I'm making things up? Welcome to the Nerd Herd, my dear. I wasn't making things up. However, they have been in negative population growth. So what has happened now is, back in the days, about 15 years ago, the United States Census said by 2046, the white man, for the first time in America, which I don't believe, will be the minority. And that scared the bejeebas out of them. And then as the time went on, that date started being lowered from 1946 down. Then they said 2040. Then they said 2037. And they went into overdrive because now they're like, wait, what? We're going to be the minority? Oh, no. Because they are hell-bent on this notion that if we become the minority, Black people will do to us what we did to them. Excuse me, boo. If we was going to do that shit, we would have done it a long time ago. That's you. Don't gaslight me into who you are. That's who you are. We ain't that. We don't want to take your land, your life, your liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We just want to exist with your foot off our neck. But they have a fear that if they become the minority, we will do to them what they've done to us. Now, would they deserve it? Absolutely. But that's not us. And you cannot make us you. So while I call it fighting a ghost, shadow boxing with a ghost. You running around doing everything informed on the notion that if we ever get power, we're going to do you like this. You're wasting your own energy. We're not thinking about y'all. We're not thinking about y'all. You think about us. We're not thinking about y'all. And it's just, adrenochrome. It's one of the reasons why they are doing all these things, schmafficking to children, because they believe that they can elicit energy. See, and it's also why we should stop really eating meat. A lot of us are developing cancers and illnesses and all type of stuff from consuming flesh. But we're getting that because we are eating the energy of a tortured and a scared animal. That's what's flowing through our body. That's what we're ingesting. You are what you eat. If you eat a tortured animal, you will be a tortured animal. I didn't make it up. Don't shoot the messenger, please. Once is enough. I'm telling you. Now, is that so easy? No, because we've been trained in this consumption of flesh. Listen, I was a carnivore. I love meat, but I don't necessarily feel, the more I know and grow, I don't feel an affinity for it. I don't want to engorge my belly with the spoils of somebody being tortured before they die. That's what adrenochrome is, a substance in blood that is full of low vibration and fear and energy and scare. You know, when they're torturing a child, right before this child, when this child is looking at this person and knowing that, you know, unaliving is probably impending, or they are being physically violated and they are screaming out in fear, it is an energy that is released at that moment when the child is in the heights of their fear, that the abuser absorbs and takes in and says gives them energy. They believe that this thing gives them energy. And so that is what they do. It is a form of bloodletting and absorbing the energy from a scared person, namely somebody with not 18, that doesn't have 18 candles on their cake. I've been telling people about this for years. And you know what they said? That's insane. That's craziness. I'm not going to listen to that. Okay. Don't listen. I'm not here to force anybody to believe anything. I'm simply called to share what I know. The Most High has imbued me with the ability to take in lots of information and a vast array of information and share what I know. I'm just doing what I'm called to. Exactly. Just like the movie Monsters, Inc. You're right. Just how they used to harness the energy from the kids' scary dreams. Yes, that's exactly what it is. And it's my sincere belief that's why they showed that in the movie, because universal law dictates they have to tell us what they're doing. We have just been so gaslit. We think everything is just entertainment. We don't believe anything. But the truth be there the whole time. It's hindsight becomes 2020. We have to look back and be like, oh, look at all the signs. Oh my God, they were showing us. Yeah, they were showing it all along. And listen, not just printing meat. I keep telling y'all, I told y'all in probably 3 of my past lives or videos, for God's sakes, if you walk in the supermarket and you see Purdue chicken over here and such farms over here and this and that and all these different kinds, and then you see in that center, you know, that floating aisle in the middle of the meat section, and you have to look down and see it, and then you see all these family packs with 22 pieces of chicken in it, and it just has that big yellow sticker with the little jagged ends around the circle, and it has a red $5 5 in it with a dollar sign. $5 for 22 pieces of chicken. You are eating lab-grown meat. Or maybe whatever it is, maybe humans. Entertainment purposes only, YouTube. Entertainment and educational purposes only. My opinion, protected by the First Amendment, my inalienable right, free speech, all that jazz. Stay away from that $5 pack. And mind you, it's a $5 pack of meat. It has no company name on it. It just says chicken. Yeah, I know y'all seen those. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever gone in the supermarket and seen that. There's no name on it. They make wings also. Those wing flings, it's just a bag. It's like No Frills from back in the days. It just doesn't say No Frills. It's a black and white bag. It said chicken drumettes or chicken legs and, you know, thighs. Family pack, $5. It's a huge family pack. It's $5. Who has seen any of that? Stay away from those. If you're so galvanized by a deal, understand that you are eating Soylent Green, lab-grown meat. There was a movie in the 70s called Soylent Green. Go look it up. Soylent Green, Green. Soylent Green was this new thing, and everybody wanted to eat it. Oh, it's this new thing. You should eat Soylent. You should eat Soylent. You should eat Soylent Green. You see, and everybody's like, it's faddish. Everybody's like, oh, I'm consuming Soylent Green, and oh, I'm consuming. And guess what Soylent Green was? This what was that actor's name? He was investigating and breaking into the plant to find out what's in the Soylent Green. What is it made of? Guess what his final sentence was? Maybe I shouldn't tell you. Maybe I should just let you go look it up and find it. I mean, you can still watch it. Let me know if you want me to tell you what his final sentence was, or if y'all want to just Soylent Green is people. Yes, Renee, for the win. People. Soylent Green was people. Now, what sounds like green? Soylent Green. Plant-based? Oh, the movie They Live, honey. That right there. They said that, conventional people that are conspiracy theorists, and let me just say, just because somebody is a conspiracy theorist or something sounds like a conspiracy theory, it doesn't mean it's not true. Two things can be the same simultaneously. The movie They Live is considered a documentary, not a movie. They are telling us the truth. And they are here among us. And when you are a chosen one, and when you are God's people, trust me when I tell you they can see you. I walk down the street and I'm telling you, people be looking at me like, looking me up and down. I'd be like, sheesh, me and Nirvana was driving in the car the other day. We're on the highway. You know how the highway slows down and you're in traffic? We look over, this person was in the car like looking us up and down like, I was like, can they see something on me? Do they see a glow on me or something? I'm talking when I tell you, and I can see people. I see people, I'll be like, I can see nothing but sickness and schmeth on this guy. Starts with a D. And around was like, really? I'll be like, oh my God, I see sickness all over this one. And I'm telling you, just the way I see them, they can see me. Because I can see them. I see people that I can see their spirit looks like a demon. I'll be like, around, pull over, get on this side, walk over here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, people have turned the term conspiracy theory into something negative. A conspiracy theory is not necessarily negative. It is the assortment of facts that come together to espouse a point of view. Doesn't mean it's not real. It just means all of these theories that are not widely accepted come together and meet in the middle and shine a light on a particular thing. I tell people all the time, be very mindful of all these impossible burger, impossible meat, impossible sausage, fake this, plant-based this. They all of them have soy in them. We were not meant to consume soy. We're not meant to consume soy. Soy is not good for your health. Should not be eating it. All of these things contain soy. If you're so plant-based focused, why do you need a fake sausage? Why do you need a fake burger? Why do you need fake chicken? Eat your veggies and be happy. You cannot have it both ways, and that's how they get in y'all. These things contain so much junk. Soy is horrible, and all of those plant-based everything, read the package, all made with soy. All of them. Read the package. All these impossible burger and impossible this, and I'm like, God damn it, it says impossible. Like, it's impossible for us to make a vegetable burger. Just eat this. Listen, I'm not here to bust no bubbles. I'm just telling y'all. I'm just telling y'all what I believe, what I think, and I know. Telling you. Oh, girl, that is why they wear shades, because I can see them. I can see that. When I see somebody's eyes, I can see their essence even if they wear shades. But baby, when I see them eyes, they can't hide from me. I know a lot of people that won't look me in the eye. They won't. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, like the fat. Yeah. Now you can take portobello mushrooms or beans and make in place of meat. Absolutely. But I'm telling you, go read the labels on those fake sausages or fake breakfast patties, or I don't want to call them fake, impossible. The reason it's called impossible because it's impossible to make you a hamburger or a sausage that's plant-based That's good for you. It's impossible. That's why they named it impossible. Because it's impossible. Think about it. If it was possible, it would be called possible this. You would have had it already. If they had to create a whole lane of artificial everything, if you are so committed to plant-based, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, I'm eating plant-based, but I want a burger. Then you're not really plant-based. And guess what they said? Look this up as well. Look everything I say up. I promise you, it's all provable. Do you know they said in plant-based stuff, there is more, and most plant-based stuff, there are more friggin' meat in plant-based items than you will believe. Meat. Oh, listen, McDonald's fries don't even, I watch IMQHEF, so it's the letter I, AMQUEHEFF. He does reaction videos, like conspiracy theory videos, this, that, but reaction videos for all these. You need to watch him. I also watch Dre_OG. I also watch Perky, not as much, but I worked Perky, and a few people. Let me tell you something. Write 7X, WRIGHT, 7X, Renee or Latoya, y'all put those in the chat for me. So that's Dre, DRE_OG. That's right. We're not gonna call that name in here. Dre OG, Dre_OG, Write 7X, so WRIGHT 7X, and IAMQUEHEFF. Y'all go find their channels and look them up. Start following them. Y'all gonna learn a lot. Because if y'all gonna be a part of the nerd herd, y'all need to know these things. Baby, what you think the world is, there you go. The world is not what you think it is. I need y'all to get on top of this stuff, because boo-boo, you're going to learn some. You're getting ready to get a crash course into the world, into the word of the dopest nerd. Crash course into the stuff that I know and taken. And let's start with, I'm going to do a video tomorrow about the hurricane and Hurricane Helene. I told you one of my cousins was actually missing for a day and a half. And by the grace of God, he survived. But what's happening now is dastardly in this country. It's dastardly. And there are certain things that, which one? Whose name? IMQHEF, yeah. IMQHEF, Dre OG, Write 7X, and Perky. I want y'all to watch their reaction videos. You're going to learn so much. And like I say, like they say, entertainment and educational purposes only. Go fact check, go look things up. But there's so much information. And then there's Toxic But Truth Reality. You'll see him. Latino guy, bearded, wears his hat to the back on the channels. Baby. They put Toxic But True Reality. And they've taken his channel down, so it might be Toxic But True Reality 2. Put that in there too. Toxic But True Reality. He's on TikTok. Baby, when I tell you, the hurricanes, think about what they told us. We're going to have 2 moons. 2 moons? Now, we done had this one old moon all this time, but now we have 2 moons. And what does the moon impact? The moon impacts water. If you're at the beach at night, the moon controls the gravitational pull of the water. That's why they say when you start feeling the water pulling, or when it gets to a certain time, stay out the water. You think when they say that the beach is closed at dusk for a reason? It's closed when that moon starts to come out. Think about it. Because if the moon affects the gravitational pull of water, and all of a sudden we have 2 moons, and the second moon showed up on the day that the hurricane did, don't you think that is the moon affecting the gravitational pull of the water. Hence, unbelievable floods. And if you think about, of course, it affects your body as well. And if you think about the impact of what's being uncovered with, are you guys familiar with Tartaria and the Tartarian Empire? And the fact that it is believed that time was reset and we are living in, this is not America, this is Tartarian Empire. And that all of these buildings and infrastructure and all this stuff we see on this level of is on top of Tartarian buildings and stuff, and they're passing things off. Listen to me. First of all, when y'all go to all of those things, tell them the dopest nerd sent you. Put it in their channels, especially I am QHEF, that's my dude. We talk, and let them know the dopest nerd sent you. Listen to me. I'm going to talk about that hurricane stuff tomorrow. We have some conversations to have. There was a video with a gentleman that called the ambulance. His neighbor was telling a story. The man called 911 and was like, when can the ambulances come out? When can we get help? When can somebody come out? And they were like, sir, are you okay? Are you okay? Of course, they said, where are you? And are you okay? He said, oh, I'm okay. It's like, well, what do you need 911 services for? He said, well, I opened my front door and there's bodies, unalived bodies all over my front yard. Who's going to come and pick them up? And it was an older man and he was terrified. This is in our country. Listen, if it can happen to you, if it can happen to them, it can happen to you. So I want everybody to be aware of all types of stuff. And also in Asia, so you remember what happened in Maui, and they said all of the houses that were painted blue, the energy directed weapons strikes could not hit any of those houses because it won't burn blue, that royal blue color. In Asia, they are covering all of their roofs with this peel and stick rollout tarp kind of adhesive. Listen. Every house, people poor, rich, and everything, they know something. I'm suggesting that we get up on our ish and know some things. I'm going to have Renee and Latoya, or Renee or Latoya, put it in the chat. It is a roll. It's an adhesive roll of blue tarp, or I'm not sure if I'm phrasing it properly, but it's for your rooftop. Somebody Google Asian and blue tarp covering. You can get it from Amazon. You can get it from Temu. You can get it from a lot of places. And basically what you would do is have some guys that do work come and roll out this adhesive thing and roll and cover your entire roof with it. Because listen, and it can peel. It can, it's like peel and stick, so it can come off when you need it to. In Asia, in certain countries, everybody's roof is covered. Everybody's roof is covered because they know. And what happens is, did you know that in North Carolina, where Asheville, North Carolina is almost completely separated and wiped away, it is a smart city. Anywhere they're developing smart cities, your country, your city is going to be hit. Yeah, the blue roofs are not affected because the energy directed weapons cannot burn the color blue. That's why the whole town was burnt, but the blue pool umbrellas and the blue recycling cans were none of them were touched. They would be right next to a can that is melted, a car that is melted, but the blue recycling bin, all of those stood, all of the blue beach umbrellas, all of those stood in the midst of a whole town wiped away, burnt away. It can't, and everybody's house in Maui that had the blue roof was not burned. All of the wealthy people, Oprah and all her friends, all of them had blue roofs. And people was like, why did they just have randomly blue roofs? And none of those houses burned. Because these energy directed weapons came from the sky. So if you own a home, or if you live in a building, a condo or something, perhaps at your meetings, you should ask them to get the blue tarp and put on the roof. I'm telling you, they know something. I'm about to get me some. I'm about to get me some and put on my house. It's an adhesive roll, and those guys will come and put that thing right on your roof. You good, Popes? and they'll put it on your roof. So just be aware of those things. We'll have those discussions tomorrow. I'm not going to keep y'all up. I know it's past our bedtimes. We got to get up and get into this daily grind and stuff. So yes, it was a lot of information tonight, a lot. And as a recap, something in the milk ain't clean. I smell a rat, and everything else. And I pray that that's right. I'm praying that your daughter stays safe and that all her friends. We're going to get into the topics on this channel that most people don't want to talk about. We are going to discuss them. I want each one teach one, and we all share what we know and go tell. In the present day, the Tartary region covers a region spanning from central Afghanistan to northern Kazakhstan, as well as areas in present Mongolia, China, and Russia, Eastern Chinese Tartary. But listen, what happens is, and thank you for that, Latoya, do deeper diligence. What happens is they change. What they do is, it's like the map of the world. The globe, the map of the world that we know, is in no way reflective of a true map. You see how the size of North America, the size of Asia, the size of Australia, the size of Europe, all fake. The size of Africa, you see how Africa is downsized? The true size of Africa, there is a map that has the actual size. Africa in landmass is so huge, every other continent can fit on Africa like a puzzle. Why in the F do the maps show Africa so small? Ask yourself that. So when people tell you that we are minorities, don't believe that shit. We are not minorities. We are the diasporic majority everywhere in the world. Everywhere in the world. There is no way we are the minority when your landmass is significantly smaller than Africa. Every continent can fit on the surface of Africa with room to spare. But in the incarnation of today's world, you got Americans thinking that we have the World Series, we have everything, we call everything the world, everything, because we feel so grandeur in ourselves. And America is so small in landmass. North America, Canada, and United States of America. And then, we like to call people, those immigrants, those people. Listen, America is not just North America. There is North America, South America, and the Caribbean, and all that is in the Americas. So all the people who are not averse of geography, please understand your geography. When we be called, y'all need to go, you ain't American, you need to go back. They are American. They live in the Americas. If you want to be technical, you could say North American or South American or all those Caribbean islands and all, they in North America, with the exception of Trinidad and, well, Guyana's in South America, but Trinidad is the southernmost Caribbean island next to South America in the long Caribbean and the Antilles and all that. So Trinidad is the southernmost Caribbean island. It's right by South America. But all the other islands, and it's still in the Americas. Get it? South America, like, we got a lot to learn. We got a lot to talk about. But I pray that your friends in South, or they're not affected. Okay, that's good. I pray that everybody's friends and family who was affected by the storm is able to hold their head and get assistance. Perhaps, like I said, we talked about the other day, we could do some type of drive where we gather water, this, that, the other, find out what companies are taking things down, and we can send our stuff down on their truck. Or if we can get together and rent a van and take things down, let's do that. Let's put our stuff together and help those in need. The conspiracy is that the empire was intentionally erased and history was rewritten to make buildings seem younger and more modern. Listen, go look at the pictures in the 1800s. Go look at the pictures in the 1800s. And yes, hieroglyphics and Egyptian artifacts, an unbelievable amount of reserves of gold were found in the Grand Canyon. That is why no one can go in the Grand Canyon. It's closed because they don't want you to find out the truth, that this land that they call America is also Africa. That's why they say you can go from the state of Memphis, if you go by sea, the state of Memphis, all the way to Africa. And remember, even though we have 7 continents, prior to the 7 continents breaking up, this was called Pangea. It was all connected. They broke apart. So there's so much. Look at the pictures in the 1800s. You know what I want you to start doing? Look around the edge and the top of the pictures. You will see that those pictures were the background is white. They're fake backgrounds. If you go look at some of the buildings with the old carvings, they just found in the chapel, St. John's Cathedral Chapel, you know, all these ornate buildings with all these sculptures and all this stuff in the ornate writing and things and gargoyles and all that on the building. You know what they found in the side of the St. John's Chapel? The carvings of the World Trade Center. And with things like crashing down on the side. They also had a carving of the Brooklyn Bridge and cars falling over the side. There's also a big wave and the Statue of Liberty. All, how could they know this back in 18 something? Time is not linear. Time is cyclical. Multiple dimensions of time exist simultaneously. Remember back in school where you would come from summer vacation and they would say, make a timeline of what you did for the summer. And you'd be like, I got her from school this day. And then my mom and my family, we went to visit my grandma and such and such. And then we went down south and we stayed down south for the whole summer. And here's what I did. And then we came back up at the end and it was Labor Day and we had a cookout and came back to school. Time is not linear. We have been deluded. We have been fooled, hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray. Time is cyclical. There is no way that they find all of these artifacts and all these things and all of these present things connected to antiquities. Here's what I learned, and it was probably one of the most mind-blowing. And things don't really blow my mind because I have eyes to see and ears to hear, and I know things that are far beyond my years and my time and all of that. However, this blew my mind. You know how you have a family member and then there becomes an argument and they're like, well, you said such and such and such. And the person is like, no, I didn't. And you're like, yes, you did. And a big argument comes out because some people say, girl, you said it. I heard you say it. And the person's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I never said that. You know what I realized? You know, there are multiple dimensions that take place at the same time. So there is a tear in the time-space continuum where there's a whole, every one of us in another dimension. And dimensions slip. This might be far-fetched for some of y'all. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Come to it as you come to it. But there are multiple dimensions that take place simultaneously. And there are multiple us. If there's 5 dimensions simultaneously, there's 5 of each of us and 5 of these scenarios. Each scenario has a slight variation or difference. And I think people walk through dimensions. And that's why in this, let's call this dimension A, Susie might have said Tony was a thief and a liar and he'd be stealing people's shit at the family cookout. And maybe she said it in dimension A. But she somehow walked into dimension B and she didn't say that. Or maybe she's from dimension B. She didn't say that in dimension B. There's nobody that heard her say that. But in dimension A, they did. Somehow she walked through the time-space continuum and now she's like, yo, why the fuck are they all accusing me of this? I didn't do that. And sometimes we pass through dimensions. Open your eyes to the possibility of the shit they told us not being true. I'm going to close in a few minutes. We've been on here for a while. I didn't even realize it was this long. That's right. Deja vus are also tears in the time-space continuum where you walk through. But I'm going to tell you something. I know, and I've thought, I'm going to preface it by saying, I've thought long and hard by saying this. And for a long time, I opted to not say it because I haven't totally sorted it out myself. But one day, not permissions, no, or are you saying premonitions? Not premonitions. Actual time tears in time-space continuum. I can wake up and go outside and say, we're in a shift. We're in a shift. We shift through other dimensions. And my daughter said, oh, really? What do you see? And I'm telling you, there's this patch by one of my neighbor's houses where you're leaving the dimensions, the inner dimensions of my neighborhood and going to the older part of the neighborhood where we have to exit. And all of a sudden there was this overgrowth of kudzu. And I said, wait a minute. I drove past here yesterday. None of this kudzu was here. Now I know kudzu grows fast. But I said, this shit growing into the street. Where did this come from? And I was like, uh-oh, we're in a shift. We're in a shift. So help me God, that kudzu was growing all over their briar patch and all over their grass and all over coming into the street. Swear to God, 2 days later, no kudzu. None. None. Not coming into the street, not in the grass, nowhere. And I was driving down the street with my daughter. I said, oh my God, you see that, Nirvana? And she looked at me and she was like, no kudzu. I said, a shift. And sometimes others will shift with you, or sometimes you shift alone. And it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's not, and some people talk about the Mandela effect is a prime example of that. You could be in one dimension where it's the Bernstein Bears. And then there is a parallel dimension that you also can pass through and shift in and exist. And it's the Berenstein Bears. That's what this is. Now, is some of it being done intentionally to throw us off? Remember, there is CERN, which is a Hadron Collider, and they are trying to break through portals and get to other dimensions. And I believe because they keep kicking CERN up, kicking it up, it is creating passages and shifts in time-space, the time-space continuum, and people are shifting through dimensions. I shift a lot. I know I do. I can tell when I'm in a shift just by when I look at my emails and I see the type of emails, I'll be like, oh, I shifted. We in another shift. Because I get a whole grouping of emails, and then there's a time I don't see any of those emails at all for months. And then I can shift again, and here they go again. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in a shift. And it's not run-of-the-mill stuff for people to say. So I know it sounds, dare I say, crazy to some people. Life is a school, and perhaps you haven't ascended to that grade yet, and so you can't see that, and you don't understand it. Those of us who can understand, I'm going to tell you something. Also, when you start to eat cleaner, your brain opens up a lot more and you start to see things differently. As long as you're consuming a whole bunch of junk food and a lot of processed food, your pineal gland is calcified. Stop using fluoride, I told y'all. When you decalcify your pineal gland, you will be able to see life through your third eye as well. It's how you navigate life. So I'm going to say this one thing before I get off. One day, my daughter and I, we have been traveling, and I was like, I had to look into my, in your wallet, in your phone, if you have an iPhone, you have like all your old boarding passes and stuff like that. And my dark matter, okay, I'll look into that. My daughter and I looked in the wallet, and guess what I found? And I have proof. I was like, what? I screenshotted it because I never wanted it to disappear. Boarding passes. Get this together now, you guys. Prepare yourself. And it gave me peace because I said, oh, me and my daughter will be together. Boarding passes for my daughter and I for 2092 in something called the Momsky district. And I believe that's a part of Russia. We've looked it up. 2092. I was like, what? Yeah. Those who haven't watched a movie called Divergent, go watch Divergent. Go check that movie out. Yeah, detox yourself and drink chlorophyll. Chlorophyll will detox all the heavy metals out of your body. You will start to feel clearer, see clearer. Your brain will function different and all. Yes, absolutely. I promise you, what gave me peace was that one was for me and one was for my daughter. And I was like, my baby's going to still be with me. And I have grown kids, 2092. I promise you. I promise you. I had to take screenshots of it because I didn't want it to disappear. I've thought about showing it, but I'm a little reluctant because I know that I'm always being monitored, and who knows what that means. All right. Let me see if I can show this in a way that doesn't show all my other stuff. Oh, excuse me, 2093. Oh, I turned to the side. How am I holding it that it's turning to the side like that? All right, let's see. Maybe I have to screenshot it. All right. I screenshotted it. Hopefully this will stay like this. Well, what do I got to do, Lee? See, it keeps flipping. All right, well, I'll show it to you like this. Now it wants to flip again. Y'all see that? $20.93. Why? Why? What is the Momsky district? Divergent. Watch Divergent. Absolutely. You got the whole series. So I know that looks crazy. I noticed it. I've known now, what is this? 2024. I noticed it in the pandemic. What do I do with that? What do I do with that? I've never been what people consider to be typical. Far from it. What do you do when you see a boarding pass in your thing and it says 2093? And this is 2024. And I've always known that I was going to live long. I'm sure y'all have heard me say it. I don't know that it's going to be in this incarnation of life. I think it is going to be some type of shift or something. And I said, damn, Delta still exists. They truly a hub. But yes, I've known this thing now since at least 6 years. I've done all types of research. The best information I could find about the Momsky district, it's Russia. So what does that, if you had to deduce, what does that tell you? When I hear about war and all that stuff, especially when they're presently engaged in a war with a country, I keep my faith. I'm a faith walker. Anybody that knows me knows I am faith walker. I am a spiritual woman. I am not afraid to call the name of the Most High God. I say it all the time. I say it ad nauseum till it makes people crazy. And I don't care. I am a child of God. I am God's direct vessel. And I know it. And everybody that knows me know it. Brian Scott, no, I'll have to look him up. But guys, we've been on here for a long time. I love y'all. He has a mission for us indeed. Indeed. And I think God has a mission for us all. And listen, God lets you find your tribe because he puts you where you're supposed to be. He puts you in the company of people that you're supposed to be in. That's right. I fear no man but God. Y'all know I say that all the time. I ain't scared at all. I walk in faith because faith and worry cannot coexist. If you're worried, it tells God you don't have faith. And if you have faith, you don't need to worry. So I will end it on that. Guys, have an amazing job. Amen, amen, and amen. And Asheo. Have an amazing job, amazing sleep. I wish y'all had some linen in the house. In fact, if you have like an older linen blouse or something and you may not wear it, maybe it's a little blouse that got a stain or something on it, but you just never threw it away, lay that blouse on your pillow tonight and sleep on that. Lay that and sleep on that. And I guarantee you'll wake up and report that you've had amazing sleep and something was better. Something was different. Thank you guys. Good night. Rest well. Grand rising to you all in the morning. Well, I don't even say grand rising in the AM. Thank you guys. The Nerd Herd is always your home away from home. Anytime you need us, we're here. And if we're resting, all you got to do is watch another video. Sweet dreams to you all. Love and light to you all. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure having you. Come in. Make yourself at home in the Nerd Herd, honey. Put up your feet. Stay a while. Asheo, everybody. Until we see each other again.